I'm a person.
All right, be right back.
Basically all terrible
It's okay.
people.
We're gonna be hanging out. This is a no rush. Super chill.
Who wants to do the introduction for this time round?
Rush and chill?
I guess me, because you guys have already gone through the list.
That's a fair point.
That's a good point, because if we're going to stream it, which I've already hit the button, so we are starting to stream now.
Oh. Well,
Good
thanks
to
for the
know.
warning.
Whenever it goes through.
Did you get my
told you guys
sheet, Jack?
nothing.
Just don't tell us anything. Ever.
No, I didn't, because you're still set up to say Rangers, isn't it?
Oh, all right, but yeah, no, it says Cantios.
Oh, it does say Cantios? Then yes. No, wait a minute. Flip it over.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
there it
No,
is.
it's
15
Ranger.
See, told
No,
you.
it's Ranger.
It says Ranger.
That's Ranger.
See, now
Wait.
you got Ranger skills.
Wait,
I just helped you.
Akun Ordo Ranger, yay! I saw 15 wound. I'm like, yeah, it's worked. I did
Alright,
send
hang
it
on
to
a
you
second.
over. I sent it to you over Discord,
You
including.
didn't change the back page, did you?
No, not at all.
What I expected was you to do the accent.
Oh God!
Ranger.
Hi, guys.
It
We're getting
changed
set up now.
white, and it scared me.
Very.
So, did it update for you, Cantios?
Cantios. And yes, it did.
Cantios.
He is no
I'm gonna
longer
say it
me.
like that from now on. Cantios.
Wait, what? I have a coordination and athletic. Oh yeah.
Does
Oh,
everybody
I forgot.
have
I
their
got the
their
thing.
dice? Does everybody have their note cards? All the things that they're going to need before we get started?
Certainly do.
I know we're
Maybe.
missing a text fire.
No, we're not missing
He's-
a text fire.
He still doesn't have his tray.
We have acquired a text fire.
The tray
No tray
is
text
have a
file.
tray.
invisible.
No tray
I
text.
had, I had a minute left.
It's invisible to me.
Oh, I don't
Invisible.
understand why like everything else loads, but those stupid trays that you guys use.
Only
No,
Texas
no,
tray.
it's just Texas. Everybody else has
It's
one.
just his.
It's just his. They're all the exact same. We even made you a new one, and it's still all right. Anyways, hello guys. Welcome to the stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing the intro.
Do you want to roll first, or is that part of the?
Oh, right. Everybody roll for
Oh, no.
for
Or do you want to
Wait,
explain
wait,
that?
wait.
Explain the mechanism.
I'm a light
I'm not
side
explaining
paragon.
all the mechanisms of this game.
Oh, okay.
We're not going through like this is how to play the game. No.
Paragon.
I'll do a
So
video
you-
about
you
that.
add-
If you do that.
One
light.
light side before
Yeah,
anybody
one-
rolls anything because I'm awesome.
Oh wow.
Because you're awesome. Okay, so we've got one light side so far. I'm rolling over here with the GM. Two light
lights.
sides. Womp womp. Ranger got 2 light sides.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I got one magnificent, one dark side.
1 dark side.
Yeah,
so
I got
just
one dark as well.
side. So today is the first time that we haven't
I
had a
got one
balanced
too.
force power. You got one too.
Yeah.
Dark side?
Dark side.
Sweet.
Oh.
Excellent.
Not sweet. You take that
Yeah.
away.
It's for
I'm
the GM to
basically
use.
balanced. So I am the balance
All
of.
part of a balanced diet.
All right, so all right, I will explain that one mechanic. So when we roll at the beginning of the game, because that's going to be really confusing. When we roll at the beginning of the game, we decide where the destiny points lie. So light side or dark side. It's a resource that the GM can use if it's dark side to mess with people a little bit, and for the light side, the players can use to help like the light side of the force guide their actions, making their rolls a little bit easier and allow them to affect the storyline more in a positive way for them. So. As the GM, I am not out to get the players. I'm here to help them tell the story. But it is fun to have some stuff to throw at them. So, okay. I'm going to
Like
go ahead and
axes.
do... Like axes,
To the
which
chat.
is a thing.
Axes
The
are
chat
fun,
doesn't know
right?
about, but they're going to learn about it. So, what has happened thus far? Since we are doing the intro, we normally go around the table, and each character does their intro. But me as the GM, I will start from the beginning to allow the chat to know what's going on, and before we really dive into this. So let me move the map here. We're going to need that, but not just now. Put that off the screen. So, our band of adventurers all were on different planets in the Outer Rim. And one by one, they got scooped up. They disappeared and awoke aboard a rusty, nasty ship. They eventually found out it was a Gazanti cruiser. They were locked behind bars. They met their captors and found, at least they think they found out, that they were bound for probably servitude of some kind, probably going to be sold into the slave trade. Through luck, maybe the will of the Force, the ship came under attack by what looked like Hutt fighters. The second hull in the ship was completely blown out. They luckily were able to escape using their one of their members, Cantios' skills to pick some locks. Vic, which you guys will meet in just a second, who used his strength to rip a door open, and eventually made it, with a little bit of combat, to some escape pods, and shot off toward the planet's surface, where they learned they were hurtling toward a little world known as Tatoonine, with twin suns, a desert world. As they hurtled toward this planet, It was the Keldor Cree that realized the planet they're heading toward is actually it's a hostile place, but particularly where they're heading toward while looking at a map on a display inside the escape pod was a place called Fort Tuscan. And from the adventure novels that she had read, it's a really hostile place and that they need to change where they're going to land. So using the mechanic skills of Vic, they were able to fire off some of the emergency thrusters on the pod and move its trajectory so it landed farther away. They actually landed around, if I could get my mouse over, around here. Luckily, they didn't land on the mountainside, which you guys can tell that story if you want in a little bit. But they managed to get out of the pod, they grabbed some supplies, and they headed toward some cover in the mountains. There, they found a cave. Inside the cave, they found some it's like an archaeological dig site. They found some gear and equipment there, and eventually made their way to a small town called Mos Entha, a mining town, one of the few mines still running on Tatooine. It was a silicon mine run by a man named Graham. It had recently been attacked by Tuscan raiders, and they had found out through a Jawa that they had met en route to Mos Entha that a larger group of Tuscans were en route. When they arrived at the town, through a conversation with the leader that didn't go particularly well, the townspeople weren't willing to believe outsiders, maybe through the way that the situation was handled and through some really poor rolls. They couldn't convince anyone that the threat was real. And later that night, in the wee hours of the morning, the city became under attack, and the party decided to help defend the town. And through a extraordinary bit of heroism by the least likely party member, Cantios, they managed to hold the front gate and secure the city. In thanks, the town gave them a place to crash, a little house. They also acquired a new vehicle so they could travel a little bit faster, a couple of new vehicles, a couple of swoop bikes, and made their way, eventually, heading north after helping rebuild the town. They went north toward a city called Mos Entha, which they are now on the outskirts of, having just barely escaped an ambush by a criminal organization known as the Squill Kings, that they had actually killed 2 of their members inside the city during the Tuscan attack. So, you guys are now outside of Mos Entha, looking over the city. It is pretty late in the day, I believe, where we left off last time. What are you gonna do?
Perhaps we need to find a place to sleep.
Does every place on this godforsaken planet look like this?
I love it really, Kentios. We need to find a place to rest.
Yeah,
why
I
not?
agree.
Okay. Are you guys going into town?
Oh, yes.
Indeed.
All right, so as the suns are setting, you can still see the large amount of traffic coming and going. Mos Entha has these large starports that stand incredibly tall, the majority of which are in the northern side of town, on the opposite side of town. There is one in the area of town that you're coming into that is older, and this part of town seems older. This is the southwestern side of town. You see a lot of what looks like hovels and huts, people trading on the street corners. It's run down. You can tell this isn't the area where a lot of money is. But as you come into town, you start making your way through, and you're looking for a place to stay. What kind of place are you looking for to stay?
We need something.
Place to crash?
Maybe a cantina, local cantina.
Someplace that's not expensive.
We just stayed at a cantina.
We took a couple of shots to the land speeder. It's a little beat up here. So if we could find some place where I could maybe make time to make some repairs. And I don't know about you, but I'd kind of like to see if we could maybe get a vehicle that isn't quite as visible as those swoop bikes. So maybe see if we could trade in, find a used ship dealer and trade in this stuff on something that's a little less conspicuous.
Bad.
Yeah,
I don't
need
think
to get
we
rid of
want
them.
to be associated with that particular organization.
If I remember right as
Yeah.
well, the Swoop Bang's base is east of here, so they could have boys in the city centre. We need to get rid of these.
Unless we want to pretend we are them when we drive over there. Are we driving over there?
I want to leave. Screw
We're
this
finding a
planet.
place for the night. my shoulder really hurts.
Let's go to the local cantina. How do we feel about that? We won't be afford one of these fancy starport hotels.
Yeah, we could see if we can find out some local intelligence about where we could go to purchase those used ships, or maybe offload these bikes, and maybe a gun dealer.
First drinks on you, Cantios.
Alright, I say we just find a cantina and just get some shut-eye, I guess.
Alright, what's the first cantina we see that doesn't look like we're gonna get space tetanus if we go there?
Okay, so you make
Every
your way
single
into
one.
town. You see a couple of what might be considered watering holes in like the loosest sense of the term, but
Space tetanus, got it.
yeah, that's kind of the place you want to go. So you go a little bit farther deeper into town, and as the suns actually go down, and now it is getting more nighttime, you do come across what looks like from what you've seen, a relatively nice cantina called the Snarky Sarlacc.
Snarky Sarlacc?
The hell's a sarlacc?
I've got no idea.
I think
Why is
it's
it
big,
snarky?
And don't ask it what it ate for dinner.
Oh god. Well, let's park up here. And let's see if we can go inside and find out maybe someone to get rid of these swoops.
See if is there anything around the side that we could maybe where they could park the land speeder and the swoop bikes that aren't visible to everybody on the street?
If you look around the building, and you come around like the left-hand side of the main entrance, you actually see what looks like a half-covered. It's not a building oven in itself. It's just like a couple of sticks propped up with a piece of cloth, but there is some like half walls built out of this that same sand concrete mix that you see most of the buildings in Tatooine made out of, built around it. You could easily swing them in there and park the two swoop bikes, and it'd be, unless somebody was actively looking for them, yeah, they'd be pretty well hidden from at least the main street.
Hey guys, let's park the bikes out of the way here, and we can park the speeder in front of it, and maybe keep them out of obvious view.
Yeah, let's try and cover them over a little bit. We don't want to let anyone see these swoop bike.
Either we attract the attention of the gang, or somebody that doesn't like the gang might mistake us for them. So
Exactly. Let's get it out of the way.
Fine. I'm just tired.
Let's push the bikes into position there, hidden kind of in the shadowy part of the back. So pretty hidden from at least the street, the main street.
Alright,
Make
let's
sure
go
we
around
lock
to
these
the
things.
Front.
Bloop, bloop.
These keys.
what kind of
locked
establishment does
up.
this look like? Does it look like a fairly rough one, or is it one that we should maybe leave some of our heavy weapons?
Well, you guys passed the really gnarly looking ones that were in the poorer side of town as you first walked in. This place it's not like 5-star hotel by any means. It would be kind of like just your local pub for some of the local workers. It does say on one of the signs that there are rooms for rent if you would like. And this is just from the outside what you can see. There are no windows to it, just a double set of doors in the front.
Holster your weapons for now. Keep alert. We don't know what this place is like yet.
I'm just wondering if I should lock the vibro axe up in one of the boxes on the speeder.
From what you've seen on the street so far, like if you're worried about weapons, you do see a number of people carrying relatively large weapons. A vibro axe in this part of town is pretty. It's not gonna bat an eyelash, to be honest.
Hey Vic, look, that guy just carried out a vibro greatsword. You're really worried about your axe.
A vibro great
For
sword.
that matter, it may
That's a thing.
discourage people from thinking that we're easy pickings. All right,
Let's go.
point taken.
All right, so you guys walk inside the cantina. You see a number of just rounded tables in the main section. Off to your left is a half bar. A Devorian is sitting behind the bar, cleaning one of the glasses. There's a human woman walking to each of the tables. You can actually see some live entertainment, a band playing up at the back right-hand side. It's cooler, and as you walk in, you have to actually step down a couple of steps. And you've noticed this in a lot of the Tatooine structures. It's just they build almost half underground to keep the temperatures down. The bartender gives you a little bit of a nod. You can hear there's a little bit of energy to the place. It's just like a normal weekday night here. Nobody really gives you a hard glance, and just seems like another night at the pub.
Alright, let's go and order a couple of drinks. Do you guys want to get a booth?
Yeah, look for a booth, maybe somewhere off in a corner where we can keep an eye on the entrances.
Somewhere a
Yes.
basilisk will fit.
Yeah.
It takes you a minute to find one where a basilisk would actually squeeze into and fit, but you find one toward the right-hand side when you first walk in. You can see actually both entrances. There's an entrance toward the back and there's an entrance toward the front. And this is the first time you guys start to notice that a lot of the Cantina designs here, from the one that you saw in Mos Entha and the one here, are actually very similar. Like maybe they came from almost the same construction group who built these. So you kind of dig in. It's a darker section of the Cantina. And you can, as you're gonna scooting in, a waitress walks up to you. So what can I get you guys?
What you got?
Oh, well, we've got, we just got a crate of Carillion Ale in, we've got some Bantha Blasters, and she kind of just like hands over a little bit of a menu. Mostly drinks with just a couple of food items, mostly just pub food, snacks. Something that looks like that's described as like a deep fried lizard, a dune lizard, whatever that may be.
I'll have a Carillion Ale.
Carillion Ale, for the rest of you?
Yeah, I'll take one of those too.
Same to
Carillion
me.
Ales.
Make that 3.
Do you have anything non-alcoholic?
She just looks at you, like, confused. And water? We've got water?
I'll take some water.
Okay. All right, so 3 Carillion Ales and a water. You got it. And she kind of walks off.
Kandar walks into a bar.
You guys see
Doesn't get a
the
drink.
Devorian? I wonder if he's
Well,
related to Ming. Or maybe it's just most of these places are owned by Devorians.
Orian's a slimy, clever bastards. They'll know something.
Doesn't look too slimy to me.
ask for a room to spend the night. Kind of put my hand over my shoulder where, you know, I was shot.
Oh yeah, boo
Keep in
hoo! I
mind,
got
you guys were
shot
in a
in the
major
shoulder.
firefight, yeah. You can see
Yeah, I kind of want to go lay down.
Yeah,
Cree's
I'm
got a
thinking the
blaster
blood
wound to
loss
her shoulder.
And
Can,
the alcohol is not going to be a good combination here.
Put a
The blood's
band-aid
like
on it.
seeping into her cloak a bit. And she's got her. Are you hood up or hood down?
Put up.
Oh, you're hood up. You can actually see some of the blood is now kind of like spread over to her shoulder a little bit. Nobody's really noticed it yet.
yeah.
You're not
dark
sure if that's
cloak.
just because it's a dark cloak or it's because it's Tatooine and just nobody cares.
Hang on, I'll get up and see. Go to the bar and see maybe there's a medical center nearby.
I was gonna say, what is a room gonna do for bleeding?
Little sissy, you think we could maybe bandage that up a little bit if I give you a hand?
I already have.
You see that
It
little
wasn't that long
sparkly
ago.
band-aid?
I just need to lay down.
You wait for the drinks. I'll go to the bar. Maybe I can ask for the manager, supervisor, whatever.
Manager.
Manager.
Yeah. Might see
So
if
you're-
anybody has any suggestions on those places we're looking for.
Go on, Evic. Let's go. Ganto's keep an eye on Cree.
Yeah, great.
Make sure she stays, wide awake.
Not that you could tell because my eyes are covered. I could be sleeping sitting up and no one would know.
Or cares.
She's got those just like
Ah.
black things over her eyes, so you can't see anything in that mask. Kind of keeps her. You can't really see what her face does when she has any type of like reaction. It's kind of fun. But so you guys are going to the bar?
Yeah, me and Vic will waltz over to the bar.
Okay, so you guys walk over to the bar. Bartender looks up to you, she's like, "Hey, what can I get you?" And now he's kind of like peeking back at your companion sitting back at the booth and then looking at you.
That's alright, man. We're good for drinks. Your lovely waitress has already sorted this out. Just want to
Oh.
see if you got a manager or supervisor in here.
Well, the manager, supervisor, I run this place. It's my joint. What can I do for you?
Well. Just wonder, is there a medical center nearby?
Medical center. And you see him like reach up and scratch underneath one of his horns. Medical center. Yeah, there's one. If you head down, and he points to the street you were just on, gives you directions. About 2 blocks down, head north, then take a right, and you'll see it. There's a med sign up there. But be warned, it's kind of expensive right now. Supplies are a little rough.
I can imagine.
Roger that. What's your name, sir? My name's Vic. This is Ranger.
Oh, Vic,
Pleasure.
glad to meet you. Edvar Vasic.
Edvar, it's a very nice little place you have here. Do you happen to have some rooms for rent, or might know of one somewhere where we could find them?
We've got one open. It's got enough for how many are you?
There's 4 of us, and unfortunately we got jumped by one of those swoop gangs on the way into town. I don't know how active they are around here, but
Kind of
we could
takes
really use
a
a
minute
place
and
to
looks back.
rest up a little bit.
Swoop gang hit you, huh? And he looks back at the axe on your back. He's just like, well, you're lucky to be alive. Yeah, we got a place for you to rest. It'll be 40 credits for the night, though.
Alright, we'll take
Is there
tonight.
beds for 4 people to sleep?
Well, there should be 6 beds down there.
Alright, we'll
last
take the
room.
room for the night.
All right.
Here, take your credits.
He gives you the key to the door, and he's like, go down the steps down there, and he points toward that back entrance that you had seen. Head on down there, and you'll see it. It'll be the 3rd room on your left.
Hey, Victor, you want to ask him about a couple of mechanic shops?
So, Edvard, do you have any recommendations of mechanic shops where I could maybe rent some time so I could do some repairs to our vehicle, or maybe even like a used vehicles seller that you suggest?
Oh, the used vehicle seller. Well, that depends on what kind of credits you got. You looking for someplace inexpensive and probably used and beat up, or are you looking for something more on the newer side of things?
Oh, we're not exactly rich.
Gives it a thought for a minute.
I can do my own repairs, so even places that sell pretty battered stuff would be okay. Maybe like a salvage or place.
Salvage place for... Yeah, well, I hate to send anybody over to Max's. He's a bit of a crook, but if you're looking for cheap vehicles, it's probably the best place you can go. And if you talk him into it, he might even let you do a little work there on the property. So go over to Max Used Ground Transport Emporium. I'm sure he'll try to sell you everything under the sun, and he gives you directions on where it's at, which is a little bit farther into town, heading west.
Okay, and anybody that sells weapons around here?
You looking for blasters? Are you looking for kind of just like a general outfitters?
I think I'd like a general outfitters.
Yeah. No, I know you're looking for. Actually, it's just right across the street. And he just points you out the door. Just head on back there. The second building to your left, you'll see it. General Outfitters. He's got everything there from armor to weapons, you name it.
Hey, thanks for the information. There's just one more thing I want to ask you before we go. Do you know much about the Squill Kings?
Squill Kings?
Yeah.
I never heard of them.
Never heard of them.
Is that the group that hit you?
Yeah, it's the Swoop Gang that is.
I heard of
That's what
Squills
one of them
before, but
said.
never Squill Kings. No, it's a ridiculous name. Sounds like a Swoop Gang name.
Hey, thanks for your time anyway.
Yeah,
I'm
no
sorry,
problem.
one more question. So, another name that we were given was a Savin Salvage. You know anything about her?
Savin. Yeah, Savin runs. She's got the biggest salvage operation this side of Tatooine. As for where she's at, depends. I mean, she's always hopping port to port, and I couldn't tell you when or where she's going to be, but she'll come to town eventually. She comes through maybe every few months.
You have a pretty good reputation around here.
From those that do business with her, I mean, it's who you do business with, really. I mean, depending on if you're looking for ship parts or, hell, even whole ships, she's got them.
All right, sounds good. Well, we really appreciate your help.
No problem. He goes back to...
Is there anywhere where we can maybe get some food a little bit later? I know that lizard. I'm not sure that's a full meal for people.
See him, like, scrunch up his nose. He's like, what? What's wrong with our fried lizard?
I don't know.
That
I've
can
never
be a
had
full
fried
meal if
lizard.
you want it to be. It's always about the size of the cut, you see, and he starts describing in great detail how he cuts like Dune lizard. He's actually very passionate about the topic.
We'll
definitely
think
give
about it.
try, but I'll try it maybe a little bit later. But I didn't know if there was anywhere else that sells more general grub.
As
Well,
Ranger
there's
sort
places all up and down the town. Come on now.
As Ranger
probably
Scene sort of
seen-
starts getting really in depth about cutting meat, it just kind of ushers Vic like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. Yeah.
I was going to ask him what a sarlacc was. I mean, come on. Or what a
He just kind of
snark
shakes his
is.
head, the two of you, like, okay. As long as they're paid customers, whatever. And he goes back to
Thanks,
work.
man. Thanks.
No problem.
Hey, Cree, are you awake? Just kind of poking at her.
Yeah,
Dead yet?
yeah, I'm awake.
Okay, good.
Hey, well, we got a room for the night.
Great. How much is it?
Don't ask.
My money. My money's involved in this.
Look, I've handled it. Just shut up and drink. Is our drinks here yet?
I don't know.
You
You
give it a
tell
little
me.
bit,
Look at the.
and she saw you talking to the bartender, and she comes up, and she's like, "Is everything okay?" And she's got her drinks, and she's handing them out. She's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
3
we just-
ales and a water, and she hands the water down, and you can notice the water's got this kind of weird brown tint with little bits of some type of material inside it that just looks. It doesn't look like anybody's trying to poison you. It just looks like the water isn't very clean.
Yeah, don't worry.
Wow.
We're just looking for some directions.
Sand even in the water.
And she's just like laughs. There's sand everywhere on this planet. I hate sand.
I hate this planet.
Yeah. Hey, Ranger, can I borrow your canteen for a minute here?
Yeah, sure. Go on then. I'll slide out of the table.
Picks up the glass of water and pours it through the filter canteen.
Takes a minute. It
Okay.
kind of glows for a second and
I've just
vibrates a
been
little
eyeing
bit.
it dubiously. Kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. All right, there you go, Cree. Hands over the canteen.
you.
That might be a
Pops
little
out
bit better
some
that
crystal
way.
clear water for you.
Yeah, I should invest in one of those.
Just invest in one
Well-
of these. Drinks the
I
ale.
got the name of a general. Actually, did he give me a name on the general outfitter?
No,
Oh,
he
it's
just said there was one across the street. It's just this general outfitter store. It doesn't even have a name to it. It's just
There's an
kind of like an
outfitter
open
store across the
kiosk.
street. That's kind of like what?
Let's say we
It's
visit
like
this
an open
tomorrow.
kiosk with a door that you can go into. So there's some stuff like outside the building, and then you go in, and there's just more crap in there. But there's no name to it or anything. It's just the place people buy stuff.
Yeah, he knows about Savin. He didn't really have much to say about her, other than that she does work and sometimes even sells pots for starships or even whole starships.
You know
He did
anything about
also
the
say-
squills?
He'd also talk about the medical facilities just down the street. Cree, if you want to go and take a visit.
But they were pretty
Sounds
pricey
expensive.
though. So.
Unless you just want to rest it up, and we can deal with it as we can, and then we'll go and go there later on and get some supplies.
Yeah, that might be
Expensive,
best.
but at least they don't just put like band-aids over blaster wounds.
Hey, I am learning.
Yeah,
I'll tell
great.
you what.
I'd like to see you
I
do
think-
better.
I wouldn't.
Nope.
I got another couple of stim packs. We could probably fix you
Somebody
up for
would've
now
been
and
stuck
then,
with an
and
axe
then
in his chest.
restock our supply.
We're in town, Vic. I don't think we need to be throwing around stim packs yet.
Well, depends on.
We'll
how
wait
much
till
it
tomorrow.
costs.
See how we go.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Let's wait until we use the stim packs before we find out they're worth gold.
What time of day is it currently?
It is now evening, very much so. You guys have been sitting and talking for like a half an hour, and as you were coming in, the suns were pretty much all the way down. So
I'll tell you
the
what. How
lights
about,
have come on.
how about we get
Yeah,
a night's rest?
Ranger,
Mm-hmm.
are you gonna go to bed or you gonna stay up for a little bit?
I'm gonna stay up a little bit. I'm gonna get a feel for the canteen and
Okay.
maybe have a little look around the streets, but not go too far.
Let's. I'm gonna take a look, but let's take a look at that room. I'm gonna go down with Cree and Kantos here and take a look at that room if they're gonna rest up. But
Yeah,
I'll
I got
come
shot
back
in the
up.
back a couple times. I'm gonna go pass out on my face.
I'll hold the booth. You go with him. I'll
Sounds
hold the
good.
booth.
all right, so Vix sort of lays an arm over each person's shoulder just to give them a little support.
Oh.
Other shoulder. Oh, sorry, wrong shoulder. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, some of us only have 2 shoulders.
I've only got 2 shoulders. The other ones come out of the middle. It's
Yeah,
pretty basic
yeah, I
anatomy.
guess so. I thought our shoulders were just places where arms attached.
Oh,
but
well,
not-
it's quite fascinating. I could tell you later on, but I think we need to get you to bed for now.
Yeah, let's talk about that later.
It's like putting a kid to bed. Yeah, come on, let's just get you to bed.
Hi. I am a full-grown Keldor. I'm not a child.
Should probably grow a little more.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Maybe next time we won't be up to this guy's knees.
Alright, so we'll walk downstairs. There's just a room? Is it enclosed? Or is it kind of like
As you go
bunk
downstairs
style?
and you find the room that you were told to go to, and the markings that match the keys that you've got, the doors open up, and it is a room, and there is a collection of cots, 4 of which are just stacked on one wall. And there is one, what you could almost call a bed. It is bare bones in there. There's a sink, there's a mirror. The mirror is cracked, but it's a place to sleep.
Alright.
Hey, well, you guys You guys can take the bed. I'll just throw a couple of cots here together for later on. I think 2 of them ought to be able to hold me up.
Yeah, 2 cots. That might do it.
All right,
Are you-
looks good.
Well, I'm going to lock the door when I leave here, but if you guys need anything, give me a shout.
All right, we got
You're right.
bombs.
Vic's going to wander.
After Vic leaves, I'd like to sit down on, I don't know, one of the cots.
Okay.
And take a moment with my hand on my shoulder and try to recreate the feeling I had when I saw Cantios split open by the vibroaxe.
Okay. So you find a place to sit, quiet your mind, and you try to recreate that moment, that rush of almost panic and then reaction from when you saw a companion take a vibroaxe to the gut. Go ahead and do your roll.
Try to find the feeling of the feeling and separate that from the panic and the fear and
Were you able to? So
not, but
You were not. Okay.
I am going to that anyways.
you're gonna do it anyways. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming you got a black result on the roll.
Yeah.
The dark side. Okay. So as you try to recreate that feeling that you were able to when you were able to heal Adverson, you
Cantios.
go a little Cantios. Excuse me. Cantios.
Cantios.
You go a little too deep into recreating that moment in your mind, and you can hear the blaster fire from Ranger over your shoulder. You can see the blood kind of gushing out of the open wound in Cantios' chest as he leans against the speeder. And that fear and that adrenaline kind of slowly starts to hit you. And you push through it, and you do manage to recreate that feeling, and that energy once again rolls down your hands and into your shoulder wound, and you can actually feel the wound start to close.
No. Practice. Cantios.
Eh?
Come here a
What?
second.
Why? What are you doing over there? Why do you have your hand on your wound? Leave the band-aid alone.
I think I don't need this band-aid much anymore. Come here. I
Why?
want to try something. And she's sitting up a little bit taller, as tall as she gets. She's sitting up just a little bit taller, a little bit straighter, seems to have shrugged off most of the pain. Looking
You sure that was water? You drank.
Well, not in this place, no. I think it was mostly water.
Huh.
Come here.
Gonna hesitantly walk over.
All right. I'll put my hand out. And I'm going to lay it on... Where were you shot? Your back?
Yeah, most of it.
Most of it's on your back. All right. I'm going to kind of put my hand on his back and try to once again recreate that.
You're trying to do magic hands. You did this once before.
Go ahead and do your roll. As you place your hand on the wound on his back from the blaster. It was a blaster bolt that you took, if I remember correctly.
Many.
Many blaster bolts, that's right. Okay.
Being 2.
All right. So I got one light side.
You got one light side. Okay, with that, this time you focus on just the feeling, less the moment, less the chaos of combat, and more of just that warm energy that traveled down your hand and that sense of calm. And when you do that, once again, that energy radiates from your hand almost like a vibration into his shoulder. And Cantios, you feel a sting of pain as she first touches the wound, and then suddenly you just feel like this calming warmth, and the wound starts to close. Go ahead and heal for, is it 4 health points, I believe?
Correct.
Go ahead and heal for 4. Also, make sure you take your
Weird.
conflict for the first roll for using dark side points.
I did.
Okay, cool.
You gotta teach me how to use these magic hands of yours. Because either that was a back rub or you just closed my wounds with your hand.
I'm still trying to figure it out myself. Fascinating. And I'm kind of sitting there, like, looking at my hands.
Do Caldorians normally do that?
No.
I haven't met many of you.
No, I don't think so.
Huh.
Yeah. Feel better?
Oddly enough, yes.
Fantastic. Alright, I think it's time to get some sleep. I'm
Yeah.
a little tired now. I don't know if Keldor's yawn.
Yeah, you yawn, but it's just like muffled underneath the mask.
Okay then, I'm gonna go pass out now. You enjoy your hands and stuff. Bye.
Okay. I'm gonna go over here
Totally in my mental state.
Oh. And you're just
You're
confused state
drunk.
of like, what is going on? How was she able to do this? And now you've seen her do this twice. Very strange.
That, the hell they put in that Corellian ale?
Also counts as stim pack use.
Yeah, so bear in mind, after a good rest though, and if you guys are going to sleep now, don't worry, that'll reset. So you get those, 5 stim pack uses until it's down to nothing. So that counts as 1, but once you rest, it resets the counter. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I'm
you
already
guys are
passed
going
out.
for a long rest. So, all right, where's the rest of the party? What are they up to?
I stayed up at the booth up in the cantina.
Okay, you've been enjoying your drink. It's not
Vic's
bad, a
gonna
little
wander
warm.
Back up.
Hey Vic, the others settled it in?
Yeah, they looked pretty tired after the day we had. So I went ahead and locked the door back behind myself.
Yeah, good job. We'll head down there in a bit. We'll just get a feel for this place first.
Yeah, it's be interesting. This is interesting town. Not quite as friendly as Mos Entha.
Has the Rangers seen anything while the others were downstairs sorting themselves out? Seen anything? Anyone walk in of note?
So you sit, you enjoy your drink. The band plays a little bit of a few different tunes. You do get a sampling of different lizard meats, different lizard cuts of meat from the bartender. Like he's trying to prove a point, like that it is good and that you should like it. And if you don't like it, you're wrong. As for the people coming in and out, workers, you see what looks like maybe spaceport dock workers. You see what looks like maybe a couple of either security personnel, one possible bounty hunter who walks in. And the only reason you think he might be a bounty hunter is from your past experiences and the equipment that he has at his belt and the large rifle that you recognize has a fairly strong stun setting, which would be used for taking down, targets that you'd want back alive. And that's all the people who show it of note that you really take notice of.
Well, no one's interesting's wandered in yet, Vic. Just your usual run-of-the-mill townspeople.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, should we go and have a little walk around on the street?
Yeah, maybe, but you mind if I ask you a question?
Go for it.
So, I mean, we haven't really talked about our past much, which is fine. Everybody's got their own engine to fix in their own time. But I don't know. This last week or so, week and a half, I've been pretty different from my life before that.
What was your life before that?
Yeah, well, I don't know how much you know about basilisks, but we grew up on Oyum, which is a world in the deep core.
Hmm.
And back there, I worked at one of the space stations fixing stuff. And, I'm not going to say I'm a peaceful man. I mean, I got in my fair share of bar brawls, but I never killed anybody before.
Times change, Vic. I've learned that over my years.
Yeah, I'm a little worried because, frankly, I'm not really worried about it. Does that make any sense?
You're not worried about killing?
Well, I mean, I guess I feel like I should have felt something more. I mean, killing rats is one thing, but killing people, I mean, the Tuscan Raiders, they were trying to kill us, so it was really easy, but I don't know. I'm a little worried that maybe it's a little too easy. I'm not sure what that says about me.
Well, over my years I've seen... We used to have this rookie in my old crew. I'd like to think as Ranger's his old crew, he kind of has the instant, like, 1,000-mile stare suddenly.
Right, as you're thinking back to your old group.
Mm. Then maybe a couple of seconds go by, and Vic's like staring at him, like, what? Sort of just snaps out of it very suddenly. You've stuff his old crewmate. I tried to raise him, teach him well, but he went through the same dilemma as you. Was the killing all worth it? Was it right? Was it wrong? It always comes down to Vic, who you kill. So far we've killed, as you said, Tuscans, street rats. No one of importance yet, but Vic, the time will come where we have to make a hard decision. Well, what we do to survive.
I mean, we had that, that swoop ganger. We were asking him questions, and I mean, I was holding him over the edge of a cliff to get him to answer questions. Just kind of beyond what I would imagine I would have been doing even 2 weeks ago. I mean, I never meant to drop him, but scare him a little bit, but still.
And that, Vic, my friend, and he sort of passes him a new Carillion ale, is the first major decision you've just made. First one's always the hardest. Always prepare for more.
Yeah, all right. I just if I start going down a path that's the wrong one, I hope that somebody will point it out to me, because
Vic, my old friend, we've come a long way since a couple of weeks. I like to think we'll all watch each other's backs.
Yeah.
We'll watch
what a
Cree's.
good crew does.
Watch the kids. I'll watch yours, you watch mine.
Fair enough. What we've been doing, watch each other's backs.
Exactly. That's what a team does. Now come on,
Alright.
drink up. Let's go have a little explore of the streets. I want to see what the evening nightlife is like. Just have a little look around.
Yeah, because, there's no chance we're going to get in trouble in the nightlife around here, is there?
No, never.
Okay, you guys are gonna head out.
Yeah, we're gonna wander about the streets.
All right, so I'll go ahead and move this over here onto the table to give you kind of an idea as you're walking through town. It's a big city. You start walking around the section that you're in. Probably don't want to get too far if you're not planning on crossing the entire city. It is dark. The streetlights have come on. You can see a variety of buildings. Nothing that really jumps out at you. A few stalls to get food that have been closed down. The traffic is moderate now. You see a couple of speeders go by. Every once in a while, you'll see a large pack animal of some kind. Go ahead and do a perception check, Ranger.
What was that roll, sorry?
Perception?
Perception. 1 second then.
Can he do it?
Can he do it? Okay. We're rolling. To advantage.
No,
To
he
advantage.
can't.
All right, so you don't see anything. You're just kind of walking around. It's dark. It's been a long day. I mean, you guys just did get out of a major chase and a firefight, and just the exhaustion. You're just not noticing anything of note, really. Are you guys looking for anything particular?
Vic's just trying to get a look at the lay of the land.
Okay. So there's a couple of major streets that you guys have already turned off of to go to the Cantina. Houses, you're in the poorer side of town still, but you're closer in. As you go farther into town, you kind of notice that the buildings get a little nicer. The buildings get more of an actual structure and less of a tent city or having holes in them. You do see the larger one single starport on this side of town, the biggest of starports. As you can see it in the distance. It's probably a couple of blocks from you if you wanted to head that way. What do you want to do?
Are any of the places like the general store open, or are they all closed for the evening?
They're closed up for the evening. The ones that you've seen so far. There's a couple of food places that you could stop and grab a bite. The medical center would be open at this time of hour. But the only general store that you're aware of, which is the one across from the Cantina, is currently closed.
Well, Vic, doesn't seem like there's much going on.
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Vic or myself?
Vic.
Vic's going to do that, and if it's to notice something, he doesn't get a setback for because he's got his scanner goggles.
Right, so he doesn't get a setback for night. So put that aside. 2 failures and a threat.
1 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, so yeah, it's dark. Most people have gone home. You don't really see anything of interest or note, and since you're not really actively looking for anything particular, nothing jumps out at you. You may want to try in the morning.
Come on, Vic, let's go back. Nothing else out here yet. Clearly not as active as I thought it would be.
Yeah, looks like a town.
Looks like a
Looks
town.
like a city.
Come on, let's head back to the Cantina.
Make sure we set the let's go set the alarms on the bikes and oh yeah, the droid. I keep forgetting about him.
Oh God.
Poor
Are we
CJ.
talking to everyone?
Yeah, well, you know, I may get him to not talk so much. I don't want him to give away too much.
Alright, let's do that on the way
towards
back.
the cantina.
Are you heading back towards the canteen the way you came?
Mhm.
All right, so as you're on the way back, you're kind of backtracking, following the same steps that you took. You're getting another look at some of the things that you had passed by. Go ahead, Ranger, and do another perception check.
God.
He's a blind
You
as a
coming
bat.
right back the way you came.
2 success, 1 advantage.
Okay, so it was 1 threat on the roll. As you're walking back, you see the symbol in basic for what looks like the Bounty Hunter Guild. And from your experience, you know that where that symbol is marked, and it's actually a lit, almost like sign, that there is probably, at the very least, a Bounty Hunter's terminal there, if not a full office in that direction.
Ooh. Is it open right now?
You can walk over and take a look. Like, you see the sign, but you see it like above some of the smaller buildings in front of you, so you don't actually see what the sign points to. What structure is that above?
Hey Vic, you go and sort out the droid. I'll gotta go and take a look at this 1 second.
Hey.
Alright, I'm gonna take a walk over there.
Okay, so you make your way around the structure that's in your way. As you walk around, you do see it is a set of 3 terminals, and you recognize them. You've used them before when you get into a town and you're looking for some of the lower end bounties. It's just an access point for information on current bounties in the system or in the sector. One guy is actually sitting there, a Gand is sitting there, flipping through in brown robes and a large rifle on his back. You can see him just like tapping this data screen on front, just popping through, looking at the different bounties like he's looking for work.
I'd like to go and use the terminal beside him then.
Okay, so you walk up next to him, kind of looks at you like, you know, there was an open urinal and you just pulled up next to him, like, what the hell's wrong with you? And so he just like shakes his head and walks away from you as he pulls his data chip out, and you can see that the thing just locks itself down.
I just ignore him. Ignore him. Ants. So rude.
All right, so you gonna use the terminal?
Oh yeah.
All right, so you walk up to the terminal, you pop out your ID chip for Ranger, and you stick it in. You can see that the thing's reading it for a second. You see the bar go across, and then boop, it opens up, and it says the different levels of bounties, of which most are locked to you. Only like the journeyman ones are open. And then there's the information bounties, people who are just looking for information on targets and not actually looking for you to do anything about it. So you've got information, and then you've got the journeyman bounties that you can take on.
Is there anything, I'd like to look at the journeyman bounties and scroll along maybe, is there something for local in town?
Yeah, totally. So as you open it up, it has like sector-wide bounties, and then it has planet-wide bounties, and you can kind of just like zoom into the micro level from the macro level. Because you're just a journeyman, it's going to only be sector-wide at this point. You're looking for Entha, particularly. Okay, so as you open up the Entha bounties, you see a couple of like bail bond jumpers and maybe 50 credits here, maybe 100 credits there, fairly low end. The ones that do catch your attention, though, are actually only one that hits your immediate radar is this one.
Quill King, eh? Right. Alright then. I'll download it. Download the contract, accept it.
Okay, so you take the contract. There is another one that, as you're flipping through, grabs your attention as well.
Wanted. Assault, murder, theft. Wow, this bastard's hardcore.
And
Harass.
you know,
Deadlock.
because you're a journeyman bounty hunter, you know that you can't just lock down a bounty for yourself. You just can accept that you're one person on the job. Multiple people can take these bounties. Because they don't expect journeyman bounty hunters to live very long.
Alright, full knowing I'm going to be in town for a while, I'll accept both and put myself on both jobs.
Okay, so you're welcome to take those.
Thank you kindly.
And you can make them smaller with the plus and minus keys, so
Thank you
it's
kindly.
easier to keep track of. 'cause
Oh,
they're- yeah.
Oh, please.
They're
There you go.
massive. So you download those into your data pad. Is there anything else that you want to do? You have access to the journeyman and the informational bounties.
I'd like to take a look on the information bounties. Maybe there's someone looking for the same information we are. Kind of I'm thinking, but I'll just take a look. Take a look.
Okay. So you pop in, you look. There's bounties on. There's a lot of Imperial bounties out there. There's ones from the Internal Security Bureau, so the ISB. There's some for just Imperial, just direct security, Fleet Navy. There's some for just ships on there. Have you seen this ship? You know, you're just like flipping through all of them because you've been through this before. The one that grabs your attention. Roll a. What would this be for you in this instance? This would be a whatever one you'd rather do, either perception or do a streetwise.
Well, they're both the same, so I got 2 success.
Okay, well you're up against 1 failure and 1 threat. So, you flipping through real fast, you stop, and one's gotten your attention. And it's an older picture. And out of all the other pictures that are in this sector that you've seen put out, and these are actually like multiple sectors wide that these can go out if they're big enough. This particular one, though, is the lister isn't on there. It doesn't say Imperial or ISB, nobody. But what you do see is a younger Keldor, an image of like, it almost looks like a school picture. The black coverings over the eyes, the mouth mask. And it isn't so much the face that gets your attention, but it's the mask. And you think, oh, that looks oddly familiar. You're not quite sure, but that looks oddly familiar. And you only know one Keldor.
I'd like to maybe just download this one just for safekeeping.
Okay, so you download that one. The bounty actually says information wanted on this person, extremely dangerous. And the bounty is actually for 2,000 credits, which is absorbent for an informational bounty. Only some of the starships rate this high. So you go ahead and download that one onto your data pad.
Logging that in.
And that's all that you really find that's of interest.
Does the informational bounty have a name on it? Or just the picture?
The informational bounty does have a name on it. And that name would be Thas Show.
How do you spell that, sorry?
Thas space SHO.
Thank you. Alright, now I'd like to unplug from the terminal.
Okay, so you unplug. It locks down. Just has the spinning symbol now of the Bounty Hunter Guild.
Alright, I'd like to take a walk back to towards where I know where the speeders is, just to check Vic's all done.
Okay, so you start heading on over there. Vic, what have you been up to while he's been checking his email?
So Vic watered over to the land speeder to give it a once over and see what kind of work he's going to have to do to be able to get it back up to take care of the damage that it took from that strike to the port thruster. And see what now that it's not moving, how much work has ahead of him to get it fixed. Because he knows that either he's gonna have to get this thing fixed up so he can run better, or he's gonna have to get it fixed up enough to where he can sell it.
Okay, so what's the health on it right now? Is it over 50% of its threshold?
No, it took 22 out of 40 points of damage.
Ooh, so close. Okay, so you go ahead and do a mechanics check on it. This is to get an idea of like what it's going to take to fix it, because you took a substantial amount of damage from those blaster fires from that gang.
So he has 2 points in Gearhead, so he's going to have -2 setback die on this roll.
Okay. Oh, and there's no time crunch on this, so it should be fine. Oh, and you can see in the dark, so you don't need the other black dice. Okay.
Yep. And I also get an advantage because, well, I get an advantage to making repairs. I guess I don't get an advantage.
Yeah, this is just to see the kind of damage and like what it's going to cost. Because no matter how good your roll is with this, it's going to cost you something to fix the damage. This is some serious. You came so close to going over the 50% line. Whew.
And he gets 2 successes, 2 advantage.
2 successes and 2 advantage. Okay, so you get 1 advantage out of that. With the damage that it sustained, if you continue to run it at full speed, you will probably cause more damage. You had to reroute one of like the lubrication lines when you had all that smoke pouring out of it last time. As for the repairs will cost about 40% the value of the vehicle. Depending, and that would be like base if you were to buy them off the showroom floor. Whether or not you can salvage the parts or find another speeder that you can cannibalize remains to be seen, but it will cost you considerably to fix it.
Okay.
And it should tell you how much it's worth based on the the card.
40% of.
Wait, what did you roll? How many successes did you have?
2 success, 2 advantage.
And 2 advantage. Okay, so it'll cost about 20% the value of the vehicle to fix.
Let's see. Using
And
the
it'll
base
take you better part of a
value
day.
it at 4,500. At 20%.
Yeah, 20%.
So about 900 credits. Ooh, that's gonna be pricey.
That's painful. That's like if you were to just buy for the asking cost the parts for what they cost to make and ship. It being an older vehicle too, you could probably find parts for it.
May or may not actually be worth fixing at this point.
That too.
Not how much we can get for it. But while I'm there, he's gonna turn around to C9. Hey, C9.
C9 whips around on that weird little turntable thing that you've wired him to with a motor on it so he can actually turn his head. The small, the silver dented, dirtied droid with the one eye, the other one still kind of flashing. Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Oh, you're looking good there, by the way.
Ah, thank you, sir. I'm starting to like being a speeder. It's quite nice.
Excellent. So, yeah. So we're gonna stay the night here. I need you to go ahead and keep an eye on the land speeder and on the swoops here.
Completely missing the joke. He says, "Yes, sir. Very well. I can do that." And he kind of starts spinning left and to the right like he's on guard patrol. His little head.
I need you to keep your head down. So don't talk to people in this, because they may not be expecting to talk to a droid head that's attached to a land speeder. Might raise more questions than we need right now.
Indeed, sir. I will endeavor to be as stealthy as possible and keep my eye open. And he starts like spinning slower now as he's looking about, like if there's danger around every corner. When I still...
Yeah, you're doing a good job there, C9. Really appreciate your help.
Thank you, sir. He whispers it as best as droid can with the little light flashing inside his grilled mouth.
Right. So Vic's gonna walk away, grumbling under his breath as he walks. Protocol droids, where?
Okay, so you going back inside?
Mm-hmm.
So you go back inside. It's now later. It's been a few hours. There's about half as many patrons inside. You can tell they're starting to clean up. What do you want to do? Oh, Rangers by this time is caught up to you. He's just come into the cantina.
Hey, there you are.
Did you find what you were looking for?
Oh yeah, I got some stuff for you to share in the morning, but we'll do it in the morning. Let's get some rest.
Sounds good. I took a look at the speeder. I'll update you guys on that when come time.
All right then. Let's go.
Let's
go.
get some sleep while we can.
Oh yeah.
Certainly we paid enough for this room.
Okay, so you guys go back into the room. You unlock it. Everybody is passed out, and you guys are gonna crash for the night.
Oh yeah. Super
Go ahead
crash.
and lock the door.
Okay, so you're crashing. You're gonna recover some of your. You're gonna recover all of your wounds. Nobody had critical injuries, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so don't have to worry about that.
Vic actually
And-
didn't
But
actually get hit.
You recover all your strain and just one wound overnight, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes,
Never
no,
get
you're-
picked.
You're right. You only recover one of your wounds for a good night's rest. You're gonna recover all of your strain though, so you all should be at 0. So pop your wounds back on there if you already have some from that bit of firefight chase that you had on the way here.
I'm good. That healed me all. Thanks to magic hands.
Yeah, I'm still figuring that one out.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Jedi jazz hands.
Okay, it is now a beautiful Tatooine morning.
So like the
The
rest.
suns are rising. You
But
can hear
before-
tables dragging around upstairs as they're like getting everything back into position, and they're bringing the chairs down from the tables, and they're clunking on the ground. You can all hear this above you, and it's really irritating.
Morning. Oh, God. There was a bar right through the middle of my back where those two cots met. Ugh.
Sounds like someone's moving something upstairs. Can't they just see we want to lie in?
I don't know about the rest of you, but I feel great.
Huh,
Dude.
well,
Come on, let's go and get some.
where are we again?
No, it looked worse than it was. I'm sure.
Let's go get some breakfast, and I got some stuff to share.
All right.
Share.
Fried lizard for breakfast, huh? Well,
How was that fried lizard yesterday?
Yeah, that was tasty.
Yeah?
Oh, that cut.
Well, maybe I'll try some this morning. I am
For
hungry.
breakfast? That's great.
lizard chops? I'll try anything once.
So you guys make your way upstairs. You can see a couple patrons coming in, and this is their breakfast hour, right? So the pub turns into kind of like the breakfast place to go. As you come upstairs, though, you smell a totally different smell than you smelled the night before. There's some food grilling up, and it's something different. At least it smells different.
Wait, that's not lizard.
Yeah, it smells better than that. I wonder if maybe it's like lizard tacos.
For
Breakfast
breakfast?
tacos?
The hell's a
That
taco?
sounds phenomenal.
As you guys get into the room and you're having this conversation, you see the pub owner from last night pops up over from behind the bar and says, "Oh, good morning. So, to this morning," and he starts talking about the menu. It's there's lizard bacon and there's lizard eggs that are scrambled up. We're gonna have a huge breakfast. It'll be ready in a moment. Will you be staying with us this morning? Or are you gonna be heading out?
Oh, I think we should stay for breakfast if you're going to
And
be
for
nice enough to
breakfast,
cook up
yeah.
all that. Absolutely.
Well, it comes with your room, so
yeah.
it's
Oh,
it's up to you.
Continental breakfast.
I don't even know how much that room
Tatooine
was, but alright.
breakfast.
Free breakfast. Sounds good to me.
Dune lizard is one of the finest foods that you can have here on Tatooine. I'm trying to get the word out so more people will come to the pub here. So okay, well, he goes back and he talks to his chef and they start making up your breakfast.
Dude, the Jawas had Dune Lizard.
It
was great.
Do you think you think I should ask him what a sarlacc is?
Nah, why would that be important?
Unless it's on the menu, probably not.
I don't really want to try Sarlacc. It sounds disgusting.
I'm just curious about the name.
Ask him when he brings our food over. Actually, ask
Why do
him
you care so
after
much about
food.
these meetings things?
Just in case he's some sick, demented, twisted monster.
I mean, a Dune Lizard sounds like it's made of sand, yet we still don't care.
Everything's made of sand here.
It's Tatooine, exactly. It's probably just some sand thing.
Yeah, I'm not used to all
monster.
this much sand.
Pretty terrible.
Could be a sand kitten. We don't know.
Yeah, I won't
That would
say
be
that I hate
adorable.
sand,
Do they have
but
those
I'm,
here?
I'm not
I
liking it.
have no idea.
What, sand kitten?
Yeah.
Oh,
How cute would
God.
that be?
Please bring the breakfast.
And about this time, the waitress and the pub owner come over with a bunch of plates, and they start setting them down, clunk, 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 in front of you guys. And what looks like bacon of some kind is on the plate, and some of these like off-green eggs that have been scrambled up with a little bit of what you think is cheese.
Don't tell
Color
me
isn't
the
quite
green
right,
of
but
the day.
Lizard cheese?
no, that's bantha cheese.
Yeah,
Okay.
jeez.
And
Finest. It goes so well with Dune Lizard.
the
He's
eggs.
just sitting there, like, waiting for you to try it, and you can see the waitress next to him just, like, shaking her head and walking off, like she's
Yeah,
been
no,
through this
Vic's
before.
gonna try it. Vic's gonna take a big old bite.
Yeah, same with Ranger. He's gonna take a big hefty forkful.
I'm gonna put some on my plate and carefully watch those who are eating it.
I'm gonna poke at the green eggs with my fork.
Veselics have
Wonder.
pretty hardy metabolism, so, you know.
All right, go ahead and, for everybody who's just tried it, go ahead and do a resilience check.
Oh yeah. Oh, 2, 4, 5, 6 success and advantage.
You love it. It is
Oh.
fantastic.
Oh,
it is
y-
like the best bacon, and the bantha cheese is just, it's the perfect flavor for the almost tangy like lizard meat that's been deep fried into a bacon strip.
Great.
One
Oh, just-
success and 3 advantage.
And 3 advantage. Okay. It's weird. It's real weird to you.
I think he also gets a buff to his resilience, doesn't he?
I don't think so.
As a basilisk.
As a basilisk, you get the ability to not have to worry about strain on maneuvers. I don't think you get a bonus to resilience.
I think you can still not
I got a
stomach
skill
foods.
level in resilience, is what it was.
You- Oh, you have a skill level. Did you roll for that?
No, that's what basilisks get. They get 1 level in resilience.
It
That's
doesn't
pretty
mean
cool.
doesn't mean nothing.
So,
Oh. Watching
you try.
this, I
Oh,
think
go
I'm gonna try. They haven't keeled over and died, so I'm gonna
Can-
give it a try.
Grandiose creep. You gotta try some. This is just divine. Sell this
What-
every day.
What creature laid these eggs?
Lizard.
That's just a dune lizard.
I had to
A Dune Lizard. Exactly. I'm thinking about changing the name of my pub, the Dune Lizard Cafe.
Yeah,
Are lizards
what is
normally
a sarlacc?
laying
Just out of
eggs like that?
curiosity.
A sarlacc. Well, see, now that's a bit of a. I honestly don't know. I bought this place from a prior owner who was supposedly fed to a sarlacc, so I imagine it's some type of like big cat, or maybe a dog. I don't really know.
Like a
He got
sand
him-
kitten?
He got on the bad side of one of the hut bosses out here. On a trip down to Mos Shoot, a Timo, I think his name was.
Hey,
I
if
don't
if
know.
it's
What the hell
Sonic's
kind
a
of
big
guy's
dog,
name is Timo?
Yeah, I don't know, but you don't want to get on the bad side of the hut. I know that.
If it's a big
Sure.
dog, I want a Sarlacc.
There's a lot of sides to get around on a hut.
Sorry.
But you know, it's not bad.
All
It's interesting. Thank you for trying. Thank you for sharing it with us.
I'm gonna take a fork and try it hesitantly.
Yes. I
You
will
two
as
try
well.
it. Go ahead and roll for a resilience check.
Fantastic,
Oh,
something
this
I
is gonna
suck
be
at.
delightful.
It's beautiful. Trust me. It's so tasty.
1 advantage.
Okay, so you take a bite of it, and it doesn't taste bad, but after your first bite and you swallow it, you feel a bit of like a rumble, and you've definitely got something's going on. You're not sure what it is, but something's going on.
1 success, 2 advantage.
It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's not the best thing you've ever had, but you know, it's a little too chewier than you'd like, but you eat it just fine. It's fine.
I'm
Can't
gonna
you
look
just
up
tell
at
me-
him. I'm gonna look up at him. I'm gonna be like, the Jawas made it better.
Tell me it's better than the Jawa soup you tried.
It's
He
not.
looks at you and he kind of
Try it.
frowns. He's like, the Jawas, huh?
They got a nice recipe and it's amazing. Eggs aren't supposed to be
Really?
green. Don't sell green eggs. I'm green.
And then he
Eggs aren't
starts-
supposed to be green.
He's whispering to himself now. He's like, the next Jawa sandcrawler is supposed to be in next month. I could totally, maybe trade for a recipe. This could work out just great. He just like wanders off talking to himself, ignoring you guys.
He didn't hear the comment about the green eggs not being green.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna continue on with my day.
Yeah, that was... I'm gonna push my plate away.
Well, we got ration packs. You can always just try one of those.
Yeah, I think I might let things settle first.
So I
Don't
took
waste
a
your
look
time.
at the land speeder last night. It's seen better days. They did a number on that rear engine. I figure roughly it's going to take about almost 1,000 credits worth of materials just for me to be able to fix it. And
So
I'm going to need a
sell
couple of
it.
days to do it.
Gotcha. Sell it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we're going to get for it though with that kind of damage. So
I mean, we found it in a cave. We didn't
Yeah.
pay anything for it.
Any
no, that's fair.
jobs we
And
could take any way we could make money? I mean, maybe they need a dishwasher here?
I mean, if we sell the 2 swoops we got for maybe half the price they're actually worth, and your swoop for whatever parts we can even sell off of it, we might be able to afford something that moves.
yeah, well, you know what I was thinking is our
What about
proprietor over
C9?
here, Edvar, told me about this place called Max's Used Vehicle Emporium. And
Well, I
there's a
say we go
place-
shopping for supplies first.
Yeah, but he also said, hang on a second, let me finish here. So he said that that we could maybe get something there, but we had to watch out. He's kind of a shop dealer, but I figure somebody that sells used ships might need somebody who can fix some stuff. So I might be able to work as a deal.
Hang on,
But
guys. I got
absolutely, I
something
think we
even
need to go
better.
shopping for some stuff.
I got something even better we can make money with.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming that the bounty hunter terminal doesn't do printouts. It sort of uploads it to my stick, because it's possible to stick my bounty hunting stick into a datapad of sorts.
Do you have a datapad?
I do not have a datapad.
You can borrow mine.
Cree, can I borrow your datapad a second? And I offer
Sure.
up my sort of like memory stick style bounty
I'll just
hunter's
hand
key.
it over. I figure you won't run off with it.
I plug my bounty hunter's key in it. And I'd like to bring up the bounty for the Squill King. And just put it dead center in the middle of everyone.
Okay, so you
Wilking.
plug it in. Go ahead and put the bounty on the table so everybody can see it.
Yep, I shall make it bigger.
That name sounds familiar. We heard that before.
Let's rotate it.
Yeah, the Skull King are the guys who shot at us on our way here.
I saw this while I was going over to my bounty hunter terminal to maybe find some easy work for me to do, but it would be benefit for all of us. And I saw this guy.
We all have to be bounty hunters? Or can we
At
just
least
kind of
it's
help
not
you?
At least it's not our friend Lewis.
The rules are a bit fickle on
Does he have to be dead, or what's the
We have to keep
situation?
him alive.
Doesn't
Middle
Starting
say.
to like lean forwards because she's read adventure novels about bounty hunters. Imagines herself a tough bounty hunter.
Can I just scroll
Not
back
really.
through the actual
That's how she
wanted?
imagines herself. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Can I scroll
that?
back through the wanted poster and see if it specifies dead or alive?
Sure. So there is actually a little bit more detail on some of the crimes. It's just kind of a list of charges that he's got against him, and the listing is for dead or alive.
Is there a
Probably
certain?
because
is,
the first 5 things on the list are murder, 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 murder. So
is there a higher bounty for bringing him in alive, or higher bounty for bringing him dead, or is it just?
I
no
imagine
difference?
there's like 4 things of murder, 1 thing of just like stole a cart.
and there's like jaywalking at the bottom.
Jaywalking. Yeah.
Jaywalking and like. So
Playing his music too loud.
yeah,
Exactly.
there you go. He's partying too hard one day. So those and it says requires proof of getting the job done. So
Alright, so
most
this here-
likely
Dead.
head or full body. There is no bonus for bringing him in alive. So you could try to negotiate that when you drop him off, because there is a note that says that you have to drop him off at the person who put the bounty up, and it actually says that on the wanted poster.
Marseille, Esper, ED,
Mos Entha Police
Mos
Department.
Entha, sorry.
You guys are at Mos Entha.
Yeah,
Don't get them
wrong place.
confused now. They're different
That's right.
cities.
Been staring at maps all day. Alright, well, it says here in the bounty there's no specification, but I mean, if we bring them in alive, usually you can negotiate with the guy if you bring them in alive, but it doesn't
I
matter
wonder
if we
if we
bring them
should
in dead.
negotiate that first, because I'd hate to go to a lot of trouble to keep a fine, upstanding citizen like that alive, and then find out that they're not going to give us anything extra for it.
Yeah, but we could also find out some lovely information from him if we kept him alive for a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I'll shoot him in the face any time of the day, but he might know something that we might find valuable.
I think we need to keep in mind too that this is a gang of what did Lewis say, about 20 to 30 members,
Yeah.
and they had a tank.
How many
This-
Tuscans did we fight off?
Yeah, I'm
Unknown
just saying.
amount.
Most of those Tuscans ran screaming towards Rangers. He shot them with his rifle,
Good
That
point.
sounds like
For the
an
one-
excellent plan for this next.
except for the ones that you shot when they ran at you.
Oh, we use Ranger as bait.
This happens often. So anyway, I thought this was a good idea to keep an eye out for him. I mean, this
Yeah,
guy obviously
definitely.
wronged us, so I'd prefer him dead, and we can collect a nice juicy 9,000 credit reward for it.
Anything
thought
else
maybe we could-
come up?
I did find something else, but it's just another bounty. I just thought I'd keep an eye out for him. Do you guys want to see?
Sure, so we can all keep an eye out.
I'll keep an
Yeah?
eye out.
Alright, I got this other guy
Let's
as well.
be honest. I'll keep an eye out.
Alright, got this guy as
I'll
well.
probably just bump into him.
He has the most stupid name I've ever seen all my life. He's a bounty hunter. Brass Deadlock. That's a made-up name.
What if it's not even silver or gold?
Now it says here it is posted by Admiral Tarfield. Now,
Oh, Admiral Field. You remember
Yes.
that meeting
Oh,
back at
yeah.
Mos Entha? It was a Lieutenant Field that was offering them
Yeah, they did talk
Imperial
about
protection.
an admiral as well. And I
Now
think we
this-
determined that he can't be a lieutenant and an admiral, so there's probably two of them.
Yeah, I don't think that's how ranking works.
and Mr. Deadlock, as he likes to call himself. Oh, this bastard's wanted for everything: assault, murder, 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 theft, kidnapping. God.
Jaywalking.
I think I read his
Jaywalking.
novel with a deadlock
The
in it.
Fiend.
Maybe that's where he got his name.
Anyway, it's 10 grand. 10 grand credit reward. I thought, even if we don't get it done, if we keep an eye out for him.
Is that one
Yeah,
dead or
but-
alive as well?
I mean, we'd have to collect from the Imperials, right?
I've dealt with the Imperials before. Hang on, let me just scroll down and have a look
At
whether
least
he
they
says
pay.
dead or alive. What does the bounty say at the bottom for dead or
Okay.
alive circumstances?
This guy, they want back alive.
Alive.
Or they want him alive. This could be a hard one. As you can imagine, most bounties don't come exactly easy. Looks like Mr.
Alright.
Deadlock's gonna be a
Work out done
problem.
with my family. I understand that.
Oh, were you
Right.
a bounty hunter too?
Let's go an assistant.
Now, there is one
How interesting.
more thing. I scrolled through the information tile. I didn't do much information bounty hunting on my days, but there's one thing I found popped up, and I'd like to bring up the information I downloaded about Task Show, the Keldor I saw.
Okay, so you bring it up. The picture is old. The majority of you are not completely sure who it is, but you, Cree,
Yeah.
recognize it immediately.
I
Does anyone
kinda
know
sit
this
back-
one?
sit back in my chair, kind of tug at my hood, and kind of.
Hey, it looks like you.
Can't you can't say that. All Keldors look the same.
Hi.
It's racist to say that.
I
You
just
guys
wondering,
said all humans look the same too. You know what? You know what?
But you're not a human.
I know,
They all
but
belie-
it's
they all
okay.
believe
So
the
you guys
same.
can say that about humans, but I can't say that about Keldors. I see how it is.
And really,
I don't
all
have
we were
to be
saying is that
human.
humans shouldn't be blue.
it just stood out to me when I was
Just their
scrolling through.
faces. If their faces are the only part that's blue, Creed, that's when it's bad. Remember?
Yeah, their hair can be blue. That's right.
The hair's okay. It's when their face goes blue that it's bad.
I don't know why I picked it out. It just stood out to me as being a Keldor. I don't know
Ah.
why.
I'll look around the bar. Who's near us?
There's a couple of patrons, mostly sitting at the bar, pretty far away from you now. It's getting a little later in the morning, so people have gone off to work. So nobody within earshot, you would think.
Yeah, most people aren't at a cantina in the morning.
Hey, Cantios, can you take a look around? Make sure no one's listening.
Sure.
Do a perception check. Or a streetwise. Whichever one you want to do.
I'll do perception. I'm better at that.
Okay.
I've been kind of like fidgeting in my seat, like looking around, tugging at my hood still.
3 success, a triumph, and 2 advantage.
No one's paying attention to you. You look
So-
around and people are very focused on their food. They've got places to be. You are absolutely sure nobody's paying attention or can hear from this distance.
Yeah, no one cares about us.
All right.
I can tell that
I'm gonna-
much from the lack
gonna-
of people.
Pick up the data pad again, scroll through it. Well, this stood out to you because it's me.
What?
Ha! I wasn't racist.
Well, you were a little bit, but it is me.
Oh, little sister, that must have been taken a while ago.
Yeah.
How much are you worth?
I left. Hey!
Candace, it doesn't work like that.
I kick him under the table. Kick him right in the shin.
Takes 1 point of
You take a
damage.
swift paint.
Critical hit.
Yeah. This is a
It's
school
just
picture.
a question. Throwing around pictures with price tags on them.
Yeah. This is me. I was told to leave my home. I was never told why, but this might be why.
I don't think I have to look around the bar to really figure out that that might just be that reason.
Yeah, maybe. Does
Could I
it say what
review-
kind of information the bounty is?
No, it just says that you're wanted alive, unharmed. Or not that you're wanted, but that information is requested and that the person who is bringing the information is to not engage, just to deliver the information to the specified place, which is actually just a almost like a comm link, like a long-range comm link, that you transmit it to.
Memory
So
says
if I
me-
type
Do
in
not
these
engage, just
numbers
information.
into
Now-
my long-range comm link.
I want to kick him under the table again.
Whack!
I wasn't
Right
saying
in the
it was
same
gonna-
spot too, so it's really starting to hurt now.
Cree, it says on here you're not to be engaged. Now, I've never seen many bounties like that. And those are for dangerous criminals. Like, this is big stuff. What is it that says do not engage?
The fact that she's kicking my knee.
Get up.
I have wicked accuracy under the table. I'll kick you. No.
When you think about it, Ranger, she's
think
killed
it's-
more people out here than us.
Have I?
You've killed
Oh,
a
you know.
lot. More than me, at least, yeah. Oddly enough,
It's
Miss
probably a good
Librarian.
run for the money. Yep.
Little sister, you know, you don't have to tell us anything you don't want to. I think we've all
Well,
got
it's-
reasons that we've left our homes, haven't we, guys?
Yeah, but I
True.
don't want to get you guys hurt.
Well,
I
if you
don't
think
want
there's something we
to
need to
happen
know.
you.
Kicked me twice!
I'd like to
You
take,
know what I mean.
I'd like to take the
Good.
data pad from Cree, and I'd like to delete the bounty hunting information tab on there. Say, Cree, when you're ready to talk, we'll talk.
I want
You
you
do
to
that?
know that it's
It's gone.
probably my family. Part of my family.
Think it's
Uh,
good interest or
uh.
bad?
It's complicated.
Hmm.
Put a bounty out on me.
But it's
So if
not
you-
a
if
bounty,
you-
it's,
if you
it's
see
a
this
request
name
for
again-
information.
See this name again.
Report it to your, your local authorities.
I kick him again.
God!
Now it really hurts. There's gonna be a bruise there tomorrow.
It's
Antos,
not
you
looking
okay
so
there?
good.
Something biting you?
Yeah. Something's biting me.
So, as long as we're talking about the past, and the reason I bring this up is because while we maybe know that little sister here's got somebody looking for her, I think it's important for us to. We might all have somebody looking for us. I don't know about you, but I don't know why I woke up in that slaver ship. I don't know what they know about me.
That
I
sounds
don't
like
know
a
if they're
typical
still
Friday
gonna be
night to
looking
me.
for me. Yeah, but I kind of take it personal.
Does anyone remember him pissing anyone off majorly before they blacked out before they woke up on the ship?
Well, I mean, no, but on the other hand, I left my home world. So,
They have been followed?
I pissed a lot of people off. But
Why am I not surprised by that, Kentios? Why am I not surprised?
yeah, no,
I'm wondering how all you goody-goody two-shoes managed to piss people off, though.
Let me put it this way: the hut wanted me to do a little work for them, help and bypass security, and I wasn't interested in doing that. So if they know that I'm out here, that might be a problem.
Great. You pissed off the Huts, and now you're on the Huts planet.
No, more like they tried to talk me into doing work for them, and I left the entire system quickly.
You remember how you guys, earlier on in Mos Entha, when the Empire showed up, and I decided to stay behind? Let's just say I'm not exactly on friendly terms with the Empire.
No, is
But-
anybody on friendly terms with the Empire?
Good point.
Oh, this is more than your simple, they want me. This is, something worse. A lot worse.
So you're saying that we should avoid Imperial entanglements?
Probably more the fact of I should avoid all Imperials, but
Alright, well, if anybody asking about you, we'll let you know.
So there's a guy that helped me escape when the Huts were paying attention, and he said that if I ever had any more trouble or wanted some kind of work, I could send him another send him a notification, and he would be back in touch, or somebody would be back in touch from him. I was gonna send a galactic mail while I was here in town, but I think we're all in this together. So I guess my question is, do you want me to try and contact this guy?
What are you gonna
Oh,
do?
you know-
Like send
I
a
don't
bird?
think he's Imperial.
I was
I know
looking
he's
for
not
a
a friend of the
Holonet
Huts.
Cafe as well. I have a message I need to send off.
alright, well, we need to go and do some shopping. Maybe there's a, Holonet Cafe on the way. You guys send your messages.
It's the first time we've been in a civilized town in weeks.
Kentios, look around you. Civilized.
I know what I said.
No, it's no Rat King's lair, but
Yeah, it's not a cave, it's not a mining town, and it's definitely not a Jawa's home.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Unti's home.
ooh, you were pretty comfortable in that sand crawl.
I
was gonna
enjoyed
say.
that soup, but that's besides the point.
I was thinking maybe we might try and see if we can get a more reasonable vehicle than a shot-up land speeder and two
What
hot
about
swoop bikes.
C9?
Lovely decorated bikes.
Well, we could take the droid with us, or we could even maybe that would be a selling point, and then he wouldn't have to worry about him.
We can call him like some sort of intergalactic sat-nav.
No, I promised I would give him a body.
GPS.
Yeah, you attached.
You're
Right.
going the wrong way.
Alright, let's make a plan. Let's make a plan. Right. We want to get release swoops. This is at first. Load up vehicles, go shopping, and then send your messages.
So
Sounds good.
completely and utterly disregard that plan, go shopping, do other things. Gotcha.
Nope, you're coming with me because you gotta take the swoop bike. Come on.
God damn it.
Nobody trusts me to drive these things.
Actually, I'm much rather for you to ride shotgun. You're a hell of a shot there, little sister.
And apparently,
Yeah.
a wanted dangerous criminal.
I wouldn't bring that.
I'd
Can I
like
kick
to
him under the
elbow
table
him.
again?
I'd like to now elbow in.
This time, after good 4 or 5 hits now to that same spot, you take 1 wound damage. One probably deserved wound damage, you think?
How dare you!
Hey,
Come on, let's go.
Kid, you don't look like you're feeling good there. Maybe your conscience is biting you a little bit.
Oh yeah, definitely my conscience, alright.
Alright.
I'll have you know I have the long range comm link, and I'm protecting my knees this time.
That's probably a good plan.
So I walk out with Ranger kind of hobbling, just god damn it.
So you guys are walking out, so where are you heading?
We're gonna go and take the swoop bikes. I assume the rest
Try
of the
and
group
sell
is
them.
coming with us to go to the used car, used
Used
speeder,
car lot?
used speeder salesman.
What are these cars?
That Vic found out about.
Okay, so you're going over to Max's. Alright.
Yeah.
So head on over to your bikes.
AC9, how you doing? Anybody, anything happened last night while you were on guard duty?
Yes, sir. A suspicious-looking fuzzy creature known as a bantha approached the vehicle, but I scared it off. Other than that, everything's fine, sir. Can I be of assistance?
You just keep doing whatever it is you do.
You're doing a great job. Just keep on with that. All right,
Thank you,
we're gonna
sir.
go drive over to Max's here.
Just keep an eye out.
Yes, sir. I don't know who Max is, but I will keep my eyes open. And he kind of likes that
mean eye.
slow rotation of just his head, because that's all that's attached to your dashboard, and that one eye continues to flicker.
I need to fix that eye or get him an eye patch because that's just creepy.
Or we can just turn them off.
Depth perception would be lovely, sir.
Hmm.
All right, so you guys are heading on over to Max's?
Yep.
Indeed.
Okay, so you follow the directions that the bartender had given you, making your way through the city, and you come up to the entrance of a, it looks like kind of a scrapyard from your perspective, but you do see that there are a number of vehicles on the inside. And the range is quite impressive. There are some very large tracked vehicles, hover vehicles, mining vehicles. Some of them date back to the days when the sandcrawlers first arrived here. Most of them look like they're not operational. And then there is like a small building at the entrance where you're probably supposed to go in. That's like the actual shop itself.
They have any feeder trucks or maybe like a Bantha 2 cargo skiff?
Well, you can go in and find out.
Oh, well, I mean, just what Vic sees as he's walking in.
From what you see from the building in front of you where the main entrance is, and then there's these large metallic like fencing running in a large square around the structure itself. But from what you could see, there looks to be pieces of skiffs. There may be a whole one back there, but it's hard to tell through the piles of junk and other like wrecked vehicles.
All right.
This looks like home sweet home to you, Vic.
Yeah, there's a lot of good parts here. I bet they could do something good with it.
Alright, Vic, you gonna do the talking on this one since you're the expert?
I'm definitely a mechanic, but I haven't really done much in the charm department. I don't know if somebody else wants to talk. I mean, I can certainly talk shop, but as far as convincing a guy to give you a good price on a vehicle, well,
Alright,
not really a strong point of mine.
anyone feel the feeling a bit silver-tongued today?
Nope. I can convince him that he's,
I've got one rank in negotiation. So that just means I've got a yellow and a green.
I can lie to him pretty
You're
well.
currently the best person for the role.
Seriously?
Oh yeah.
That is actually
Oh
better.
god.
Yeah.
Hey, Cree, how do you know about
Oh
doing?
man.
Oh boy. Okay.
Back to
I
my
can't
Vic.
convince people of the truth, but I can convince them of the lies.
Oh, you can do it, Cree. We have faith.
Well, it's all about how you approach the situation, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, Well,
I can convince him that this speeder bike is the best damn speeder bike in Tatooine.
No, I'm not shocked to find
By
out
lying.
that Kantos doesn't have a lot of charm.
Yeah, I'm not that shocked either.
Yeah, so you guys know, none of you took any type of social skills. Like, you guys don't have a face man for this group. I don't believe any of you have any points into it.
Nope.
I got a rank in negotiation, but that's because it was a.
You can negotiate. Hooray.
Look at the scar
You guys
over my
going
eye.
inside?
About it.
Okay, so you go in, you open the two double doors in front of you. As you go up some steps and you walk in, you can see there are a variety of swoop bikes on like a showroom floor. If you could call it that, the bikes are dirty and older, some of them in better shape than others, but the ones here in this little showroom look like they're in working condition. There's a table in front of you, and behind that table is a man who's kind of like slumped over his desk, one hand on his chin, as if he's been just waiting there for hours this morning. Nobody's come in. He's bipedal and would mostly humanoid up until you get to his head, which is actually this almost boar-like face. He's got 2 tusks sticking out. Some of you may recognize his species as a Snivian. And he's also got a weird mullet on top of that. It's very odd. He's wearing a coverall. Some of them are pieces of them are ripped, stained with what looks like oil and different mechanics grease. Like, oh, hello! Come on in! Come on in! What can I do for you? We've got almost anything you can think of. If you need transportation, we're the place to be.
All right.
Welcome to Max's Used Ground Transport Emporium.
Before we get started, I would like to do a xenology check to see if there's any edge I can give myself here.
Okay. So you're looking at
If
like a
there's-
Snivian, if there's
Snivian,
anything. Okay.
Anything I should do or should avoid doing, I'd take 1 step back away from that.
Now, are there wacky inflatable arms?
And you're
at
doing
this emporium?
xenology?
Xenology, yes.
All right, so go ahead and roll. From your experience, okay, go ahead and roll for it.
1 success,
Yay!
4 advantage.
1 success and 4 advantage. Okay,
With 1 setback die taken away.
or the 1 setback die taken away. You've never seen his species before. You've never
Fabulous.
seen one like him. The hair is off-putting. I mean, this like weird like mullet thing going on, but you don't know a thing about them. You do get the sense that this guy is all about making some credits, and his business is a little slow.
Is it a really greasy
just
mullet?
from him being so
Okay.
bored sitting there. That's all
Alright.
you got. So he's looking between all of you. He's like, "What are you looking for? What can I help you with?"
Was Vic have any chance? Has he ever run across any of these before?
You want to roll a xenology check and see if you can
Sure.
come up with some more information? Go for it.
2 success, 2 advantage.
Better than.
You have never seen his species before.
All right. Hey,
You
how-
kind of like
how
the
you
hairdo
doing
though.
there?
You're digging it.
Are you Max perchance?
I'm Max. This is my place.
Oh well, Max. My name is Vic. These are my friends, and we're in the business, looking maybe for a speeder or something. But we're also looking to maybe offload some transportation equipment. If you're in the market for that.
Oh, well, if you're looking to trade up, then I am definitely the place to be. Sure, there's a couple of other places that you could go here in town, but most of them sell, we'll just say, newer, more expensive models. Here, we're willing to take trades to get you what you need. But the question is, what are you dropping off? What do you have? He kind of like tries to peer over your shoulder, but he can't because he's way shorter than you.
Oh well, we've happened to come into. We've got 2 swoop bikes, which are in really good condition. Actually, they've been extensively modified by the previous owners.
Real
But,
artists.
we've also got they got some art on it, and then we've got a X34 land speeder, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna try and blow smoke anywhere. It's seen better days. It's seen a fair amount of wear, but I've managed to do some special repairs to it. It kind of got shot once or twice on the way into town by a swoop gang, so it's not in pristine condition.
And now he's like kind of taking a step back. A swoop gang shot at this thing, and you want to sell it to me. Does it run?
Well, it runs. Actually, technically, they were shooting at me. They just hit the land speeder.
Let's take a look at what you've got. And now he's kind of a little bit on the defensive now because he's a little okay, swoop gang. That's not business that anybody wants to deal in. So he kind of like walks around you. A little bit of energy to it, but goes out the door. You guys gonna follow him, I guess, and see what you've got here. Oh my. Okay. Interesting. Go ahead and put the cards on the table for what you've got.
Droid's not included.
Droid's sold separately.
Well,
See what
depends
we've
on if
got.
the price is good, right?
So we've got, you guys have a couple of Zypher swoops. These were modified by the swoop gang that you basically took them off of. The reason that you ended up being chased and ambushed by swoop gangs is because you, killed 2 of their members and sold 2 of their bikes.
Let's just say we
They were bad.
acquired these.
And then the speeder. So the first thing he walks up to the swoop bikes, and these are the things that immediately draw his attention. The Z34 he glances at briefly and is just like, oh, okay, he's seen a million of those. He's like, oh, this paint job is interesting. Custom work by one of you or your companions?
A previous owner.
He's now bending over and looking at the squill face that's poorly drawn on to one side.
Would like to interject here. Easily and cheaply done away with. A little bit more paint, and you'd never know that the previous owner was something of an artist.
Artist's a word for it.
I'm gonna roll deception and say that
to be honest.
they happily handed over their keys without any resistance.
Okay, so you look him dead in the eye and tell him that they just handed over these bikes, these previous owners. What are you trying to convince him of?
That they were acquired peacefully, and there's no one coming to look for these bikes.
We're gonna put 2 setback dice on that because it's just so random that you just like out of nowhere said this. But okay, go ahead and roll.
Can I help? Can I give an advantage and say, yeah, I mean, they lost them in a card game.
I don't think you need to help, but if you want, I just roll.
I'd like to help. I'd like to jump in and say,
Okay.
yeah, they lost them in a card game. They're just as bad at cards as they are at painting.
Swooping.
Oh, okay. So you won this gambling. I mean, honestly, that happens more often than not out here. So yeah, I could see that. So go ahead and you take a boost die for that.
All right, I'll roll the boost die.
She may have saved your bacon on that one. So go ahead, and this is going to be a roll for coercion because you're trying to sell him this.
Oh, what?
This is straight up
Coercion?
lying.
I was lying. That's deception.
Deception. Okay, you go with deception. Deception's way more on the mark. So go ahead and roll for deception.
I did.
That one didn't fall on the table. So, oh, what'd you get? You got 2 failures and a threat.
I got 4 success and 4 advantage.
Well, you must be quite the card player to have won these 2 beauties. As he like walks around the one.
Yes,
And I
indeed.
kind of lean forward and was like, we got their boots too, but you probably don't want those.
No, I don't deal in footwear. Just to walk around. He's like, okay, well, for these 2, they're older models, and to be honest, I've actually got quite the stock of swoop bikes, a variety, and these are kind of they're not the nicest of models. They're not even honestly that fast compared to some of the fancier ones that I've got inside. But I'll give you about 2,500 credits per.
2,500. These are masterpieces. Do you see the artwork put into these?
2,600. Go ahead and roll for negotiation. Anybody want to help him with this?
No, man, I was just trashing that paint job. I can't help here.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna help. Vic's
yeah,
gonna
go.
go. Hey, I know these are older models, but I actually looked over them myself. They've done a lot of modifications on the engine, and they're really running really nice. They may not have a lot of curb appeal, but I'm telling you right now, if you could manage to sell the person on how solid a bike it is, I think you could get a lot of extra money out of these things.
Could I interject as well after Texas?
Lovely
Sure.
speech.
You know what? Go ahead and do. This is just to kind of to bring him onto your side. Do a charm check.
Oh, God.
See if he buys what you're selling him, and if you've got a trustworthy face.
Ooh, Vic.
Yeah,
That
Vic,
mustache.
that big
Very
mustache.
trustworthy
stash.
mustache.
2 success, 2 advantage.
It's like, all right, good shape. He kind of looks you up and down. He sees that you're bristling with tools. You've got the tool belt on. You've got the overalls with all the pockets. You obviously somebody who works on maybe starships, maybe vehicles, but he takes you for your word on that one.
Yeah, hey,
That
hey,
will
Max,
downgrade the next check.
Just between you and me, these have oversized injectors on the engines, which make them run about 5% smoother.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
really
okay.
nice work.
He looks at the bikes and he's like, well, I'll have to definitely have my mechanic take a look at it, but all right. I mean, I gave you, I think, a pretty fair offer. You guys going to try to talk him down, or are you going to go with it?
2,700 credits.
Are we...
Well,
And-
Ranger was going to say something, so what are you going to do, Ranger?
Look, I know you gotta think of these kids these days. I mean, swoop bikes are attracted to the kids, am I right? So, and the artwork, I know it's not appealing to us, because good God, that's ghastly. Kids like this type of stuff. They like this shit. You'll love it. You can sell it to a
Talking
young
about
kid.
the artwork on the side of this thing. There's this like hideous squill face with the tongue half hanging out and big teeth.
Let's be frank here. You'll be absolutely surprised what kids are into these days. Remember, it's some young buck who wants to get out there, thinks he can ride a swoop bike.
Do a deception or a coercion roll.
Hell, the kid we got this from had blue hair.
Coercion.
While Ranger's
Yeah.
talking to him, I want to kind of pull Vic aside a little bit and say, are we trying to just get the credits, or are we trying to trade it in?
Well,
Might be worth more as a trade-in.
yeah, I think so. Hey, before we settle on a
Oh, wait,
credit
let's
amount
see,
here,
Well, let's see how the roll came out for this.
Triumph,
It's gonna
a
change the
success,
next
an
roll.
advantage.
Oh my god.
What did you get?
Kidding?
A triumph,
Triumph, a success, and an advantage.
Advantage. Oh yeah.
So Max kind of gives out this like this throaty like pig noise for a minute. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. He gets real excited by this. He's like, yeah, I could totally market this to some of the younger, like the teenage. Yeah, I see what you're talking
Exactly.
about.
Great PR campaign.
Maybe we could touch it up a little bit. We paint the rest of it. We kind of bring out the colors on the side. We sell this as like, you know, the ride for the younger. I could see what you're saying. Yeah. All right. Who wants to go ahead and do a roll for how much this thing is going to actually cost? How much he's willing to give it to you for?
What would the roll be?
Price. The price. So here's how it's going to work. Since you guys have had this conversation, your rolls have been relatively well, and he's kind of get on your side. He's more susceptible to actually rolling or actually going with how much you want for it. But the higher number you ask for, the harder the roll will be to get him to accept it, to a point where he just won't. And this is the first time you guys have had this level of negotiation so far. So that's where you're at.
All right,
Hey, guys,
so how do we...
before we set a credit amount, Cree had a real good point here. So it's not just that, you know, I mean, while credits are really great, and maybe that's what we'll go, Max, I'm sure that you've got a vehicle that would be right for us. Maybe these swoops would sweeten the deal a little bit, maybe bring the price down a little bit. You want to show us what you might have that would work for us?
Now
Maybe a package
I
deal
like the
on the two
sound of.
swoops and the
Trade in
land
the
sweep?
swoops, maybe the land speeder. He hasn't really given it a good look. And at that point, this little droid head on the dashboard swips around and looks at you with his one eye blinking that's not gotten quite enough power that has been welded to the dashboard. Sir, do you plan on selling me? And Max almost jumps out of his skin. He's like, what the hell is that thing?
Our GPS.
What?
That's our galactic positioning system. It's shaped to look like a droid head.
I was going to say General Protection Service, but all right.
I tell you what, Max, just between you and me, if you can offer us enough on the trade-in, I'll take the droid head with us.
If I buy this, you are taking the decapitated droid head with you, no matter what. I don't want that attached to any vehicle that I'm going to sell.
How
It is
dare you? He has
disturbing.
feelings.
I'm not even going to ask why. I'm just, come on inside. Let's see what we've got. Maybe we could make a deal. But sir, as you can see, C9 is just kind of like rotating his head.
It's okay, C9. We'll be right
You're
back.
gonna be fine. Keep an eye out for the vehicles.
My lot in life. Yes, sir. And he goes and scans again like he was before. As you go inside, he walks right past those swoop bikes that you saw at the entrance and opens these two big doors that lead out into the actual yard where you saw all of the wrecked vehicles and the different bikes and some of the bits and pieces of these other vehicles. And he brings you around to see different rides. Now, as you start walking out into the center area, he asks, now, will there be any more credits outside of what you can offer me for those interesting vehicles? Are you looking for something that can hold? Like, are you looking for a new bikes? Are you looking for a single vehicle? Or would you just like the quick tour of see what we have?
I'd like the tour.
We're looking for something that's actually going to be able to hold, all four of us at once.
I see.
If we're selling all our vehicles,
some
we
cargo.
still need to be able to get around. And I'm not saying we're completely tapped on credits, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what we can get with those trade-in first, and then we can talk from there.
Okay, so at least one driver and at least 3 more passengers, maybe a little bit of room for cargo is what you're looking for. And he pulls out his data pad and he's flipping through it real quick. He's like, I've got a variety of vehicles that may suit you. I mean, it really depends on credits and how much you can afford. So come with me. And as he takes you on the tour, the vehicles that some of them you just spot as you're walking around. Oops, I just messed up my little pile, but I'll just drop these down. It just like stacked them all up. You pass by a couple of Flare S swoops. You pass by some newer X-34s. Still old, but not as in bad shape as the one that you currently have. And then he brings you up to his larger vehicle section. Like, this is the mid-range of vehicles. All of them which are hovering. And he's like, well, these would probably meet what you're looking for. And he kind of just gestures in front. Which one would you like to look at first? Or which one are you most interested in? Something open top, something closed, something fast, something that can hover at a higher altitude. We've got a variety.
Well, I guess, I mean, the problem, the land speed is out because it doesn't have enough seating. I mean, theoretically, somebody who's a little crazy could maybe bolt 2 extra seats to a land speeder, but I don't know.
Onto
how
the
stable that
side?
would
I
be.
don't. Who would be crazy enough to do something
Yeah,
like that?
it'd be
Come
a
on
little,
now.
it'd be nuts right there on the cargo deck. So yeah.
And you're not really looking for a swoop, so that leaves you with. So here's what I've got right now. I've got
Can
an
somebody
old
move their
Bantha 1
hand?
skiff. You guys can
Wanna
move your
their
hands off
hand
the
off
table.
the price on that one. Thank
There
you.
we go. Yeah, just keep your hands off of it. We can see those, by the way. So we've got a Bantha 1 small skiff. This is one of the the smaller cousin of the Bantha 2. It can hold not as much. Normally, you'll see the Jawas using these as trade skiffs. They're great for Tatooine. I wouldn't probably take them off world though, because they don't deal with trees very well. The Land Cruiser, if you're looking for something that actually closes, and they're in decent shape. They are basically what you see here.
All right.
That courier looks pretty slick.
I like the look of the courier, I must say. Although, is that a turret on top of that Arrow 23, or is that just broken?
As you get closer to the Arrow 23, what you thought was a turret is actually the mounting point for a turret, but it's just the mount point. There's no actual turret attached to the top of it.
I'd like to think the Ranger sort of climbs and has a look at it. Oh, no, turret's gone, guys. Turret's gone. No gun.
And he's like,
Tell me
but
about
don't
this,
think about what it is, as Max walks up to you. Think about what it could be. That's a mount for a turret. It swings 360 degrees, and you could easily mount something to that. Head over to one of the major weapon dealers. I don't have anything on hand, as I don't sell that kind of, let's say, equipment. But especially here on Tatooine, it's not a bad idea to have something like that. This does have the mount for it.
Could be honestly a little bit cheaper for what it is, for something that has almost no cargo capacity.
Sir, that is adequately priced for what it is. I mean, look at the hull strength. And he walks over and he bangs on one of the doors, and you can hear something like squeak and fall off on the inside. This is a
hull
strong vehicle. This can take a lot of damage. It can survive just about anything. A sandstorm, where the Bantha would fail in a sandstorm, this will just truck through it with ease. And you wouldn't even notice. Well, except for the fact that you couldn't see anything. But besides that, you wouldn't even notice it.
So tell me about the sand skiff.
The sand skiff. Well, I mean, it is exactly as you
What
see.
what kind of shape is that in?
It's in as good a shape as you'll find a sand skiff around here. These aren't new vehicles by any means. It's got the driving position for 1. It's a decent speed. It'll keep up with most of the lower end swoop bikes. And it's got a decent carrying capacity. Where you see, and he opens up these like big trunks on the front, and then the seats in the middle actually open up, and there's these large cargo sections that actually kind of fall deeper into the keel of the vehicle, where you could store larger stuff.
It come with like a deployable cover for a little bit of cover from the sun, maybe?
It does not. They did originally, at least this model did, but that would be the cloth covering that they had, and after a lot of buffeting from the wind, they normally fall off. So you would have to attach that second hand. You'd have to probably manufacture something yourself or find some parts from an old one.
Hey, Ranger, look, this one's got a mounting point up here on the front. At least that's what it looks like. Is that what it is, Max?
Indeed. And you see like this
rifle?
metal bracket on the very front of the vehicle itself that could easily be mounted a large, a heavy weapon, even a gunnery-sized weapon could be mounted to this thing within reason.
Looks
And
like
you
to
can
me
rotate it.
frontal arc only, so it's good. It'll be good, but we gotta get it in correct.
You can definitely tell that
Space.
if you were to try to fire it, say, toward the aft of the vehicle, you yourself would be hanging off the front end of the vehicle and it wouldn't work. So you can only fire it forward within, like, a certain degree that makes sense.
So let's take a look at the heavy speeder truck. I imagine that you're probably not going to give us enough on trade-in to afford that, but...
This, yes, no. I don't think we're a couple of swoops and a scary droid-mounted speeder are going to be the value of a heavy speeder truck. This is a large transport truck. The handling isn't fantastic, but it doesn't need to be. You're not going to be going that fast. This is for transporting cargo, though this one has been reinforced, so the hull is quite strong. Probably the strongest of the lot that you've seen here. I just pulled my
The other
headset
two
out.
actually have armor on them. This one doesn't look like it's actually been armored any.
And he's like, well, I mean, armor per se, it's more just thick hull plating. This isn't like starship grade armor or blast grade armor, but it can definitely take a beating before any of the... do you plan on getting to a lot of firefights?
Well, I wasn't planning on getting shot in a land speeder on the way into town either, was I?
Fair enough.
This is Tatooine. You gotta understand that. Surely, living here for as long as you have.
I don't leave town. You're crazy. And he like looks up at you. Nope. Just
I
sell
think-
vehicles.
I think, Vic, this is something not suited for our group.
Well,
Maybe not yet.
Not yet.
so
This
Max, do you have
vehicle is
anything-
big, by the way. This is like structure-sized large. It does have like a drop-down door on the right-hand side, and the actual like the larger square that you see there on the image is actually a door that would open up. You've seen a couple of these already as you came into town as makeshift vendors that are selling food out of the back and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So, Max, you got anything that you're not showing us here that maybe needs a little bit of work to get running? Going to see what we can get, because I'm a pretty good mechanic, or maybe
Well-
even if you've got something that you need a little help working on.
I do have another Aero 23. It's actually the 22 model. They're almost identical. It's not in the best of shape, but it's something to consider if you're hard up for credits. And I might be able to give that to you at a cheaper cost, at a discount.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm
do you mind,
looking
if
at
you don't mind,
the-
we're gonna talk amongst ourselves here, and then we'll maybe take a look around the yacht if you don't mind, and we'll come grab you and talk a deal here in a little bit. But I think you
Okay.
got some possibilities here.
Let me know what you find. As he walks away back toward the office building, he whistles for one of his droids, and a rusted R5 droid kind of runs up next to him, and you can see him bending down, whispering to the droid, and then pointing at you. And then he continues, looks at you real quick, and then walks back toward his office. The droid itself, its head like looks over at you, and then goes about its business. But you notice now that droid head is constantly keeping an eye on you as it makes its way around the junkyard.
Right, what do we reckon then?
Okay. Is there anything else that catches Vic's eye?
Other than the other Aero Speeder, and for the other Aero Speeder, what you would do is, if you're looking for one of these a little bit cheaper, you'd have to roll on the chart. Do you remember the chart that I showed that we talked about for used vehicles and potential issues that could be with those?
No, I don't think you
Okay.
were telling me about that.
All right. Well, I
It
have.
might have been me.
It might have been you that I told you about. So the way this would work was if you would roll on, and I'll pull it up right now. You would roll a D100, and for this particular vehicle, you would roll to get it at a cost of about 8,000. Meaning you'd have to take on 2 of whatever you rolled, and whatever the roll ends up being is what's wrong with the vehicle. Now you may be told by me what's wrong with it, depending on what you end up rolling, or it may be a mystery. It may come up later. The
Okay.
joy of used
I
vehicles.
don't like mysteries.
Okay, so what do you
I
guys
do.
think here?
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
don't get me
are
wrong.
we
I would love a heavy speeder truck, but
sticking around Tatooine for long? Does
That's
anybody
part
have
of it,
anywhere
too.
they
I'm thinking
need
about
to
the Arrow 23.
go?
well, I don't. I suspect he's not going to offer us enough to actually afford the Arrow 23, unless you get some credits that you haven't been telling us about.
No, but I don't think we need the Arrow right now. If we go do the job,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we just pick up the skiff, we can do some jobs around Tatooine and then maybe trade it in.
The thing I like about the skiff is that it's already got armor, because I have a feeling we are going to get shot at again. It's got a mount where we could mount a gun if we could find one,
It's got cargo space.
and it's got room for cargo.
Alright, so what you're saying is, what you're proposing
is the
is
skiff.
The skiff
I think
with...
this, well, and one more advantage of the skiff. It's got a small profile. It and the courier land speeder would actually probably fit into a freighter cargo hold if at some point in the future we're able to get off this planet. We wouldn't have to leave something behind or sell
by
it and lose a lot of value.
By that logic, we should get the courier. Because the
afford it?
land speed, the Bantha won't.
Well, off of Tatooine.
Yeah,
Well,
it won't
why
work
wouldn't
on.
it?
It would work, but if we ever go to a planet not with sand,
We just
Well,
get
how about
like
this?
smacked in the face
Yeah,
by
but
trees all the
it's-
time.
Kantos, it's a repulsor lift vehicle. It's a
Alright,
skiff.
I'm going to tell you right
They
now,
use these everywhere. I
I
drove
don't see
one of
too
these
many of
things.
these on course.
I know, but I drove one of these things when I was moving cargo around a space station. They're a common vehicle.
Alright, what we do is, how about this? We get the skiff now, if we can. I can imagine we
Well,
can.
does that have a
And then-
price? Do we know the price versus the courier?
Yeah,
it's-
the skiff is 5,000.
You got a base idea for what it's going to cost on it, and keep in mind that those are just like the base cost of the vehicles. So
Yeah,
those will change
those-
based
yeah.
on
Him.
how hard they are to find and
Right.
and whatnot. But yeah,
I
about
will
5K
say
for
that-
the Bantha one and the
Yeah,
10K
it's
for the other
about
one.
the skiff's gonna be about half the price of the Arrow 23. Still
Okay.
significantly less than the other vehicles. I think this is the one we could actually afford right now,
What about if
Without
we...
taking on debt?
I was looking at the courier a
Unless-
little bit.
unless we want to hang on to the current vehicles. See about collecting that bounty and then.
That's what I
buy
was
at a later
suggesting.
point.
Yeah.
What about if we
I
just use
could
this...
go either way. For one thing,
Leave these as options. Do the mission, get some cash that we don't have to trade in everything and spend all of our money. Give us some options.
yeah, but
do
we're talking
the-
about potentially taking somebody back alive. We can't carry somebody right
Not
now.
for the first one.
Yeah, the first one we don't need alive. That's more
For
of
the
a
first one, the
option.
The oops might actually help us get in.
My vote would be get the skiff now, do the jobs we can do. If we can do both jobs, perfect, we got some money to spend. If we're going to leave this planet, my vote would be get the Arrow 23. If we leave this planet, and when we leave this planet. So that way we got something multiple use, and it'll be good for wherever we're going.
Sounds
The
good to
skiff
me.
for now, later on, we'll get the 23 or another option that comes up.
That sounds like the most reasonable thing for me, but you know, we are a team.
And I was already outvoted, so I will agree. That seems to happen a lot.
So I think I've managed to get a rapport with Max, but anybody good at negotiating? Because I'm really not that good at it.
No.
No, don't look at
No,
me.
I'm not good at convincing people that about the truth. I'm more of a
Cree,
bender
you're
of
good.
that.
You're good with numbers and facts and stuff, aren't you?
Maybe. It wandered off a little bit and was looking at some other things.
So
Yeah. Yeah. What do we
can
need?
can Vic do a mechanics check and sort of give the skiff a once over real quick and see what kind of condition it's in?
Totally. So the skiff is away from the rest of the junk pile. You're able to walk all the way around it. It is shut down right now, so it's kind of just like sitting on the sand. Its two wings in the back are folded, so it just sits level on the sand. Go ahead and make your mechanics roll to see if there's any mechanical issues with it.
Yeah, you know, maybe pop open the engine compartment and see what it does.
Yep.
See what's inside.
Rolling against 2 threats, so I can't roll for shit today.
Well, that's 7 success.
I think he's done it.
So from just your quick peripheral, like you're just walking around it. You've opened up the compartment where the major components are. You find that the cargo container in the center, the door actually just sticks, and outside of that, it looks like it's in about as good shape as it could be for how old these vehicles are. The stats that you see, in other words, are the stats that this thing will be operating off of.
All right. Hey guys, this actually looks like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, this door sticks, but honestly, I haven't driven one of these things where this door didn't stick.
Alright then, what about Cree, you're up for doing the talking, and we back you up where we can.
Yeah, we can try that.
I'm sure you'll do just fine, little sister. Don't worry about
So
it.
Max comes back out, and he sees you all standing around now the skiff, all paying attention to it. So, did you guys make a decision? The skiff is a lovely vehicle. It'll definitely do you well here on Tatooine.
I think we have. Oh, how much for this skiff? What is your?
Well, are you willing to trade in both of the speeder bikes and that land speeder that you've got?
Yes.
Well, for those two and the speeder on top, honestly, I think it's a pretty fair trade. I'll give you the skiff itself, and I'll actually add on 200 credits on top of that.
Does it need fuel?
And he
need
looks
what?
over at it. He says, "You know what? Actually, no. It's been fully charged. It is good to go."
Right. So, can maybe a couple of spare parts, you think? If you got some, I noticed you got a lot of broken down skiffs here. If you don't mind, maybe I could rifle through those a little bit, and we'll call that even.
He scratches his head. He's like, "Well, spare parts for Bantha Mark 1. I don't have any more Mark 1s, but I do have a couple of broken Mark 2s. You know what? Tell you what. You sift through some of the Mark 2s, see if you can find anything of value." And he points you to the one that's probably the most prime candidate that hasn't been completely cannibalized. And we'll call it even. So, fair trade, no credits, change hands.
No. You give us 200 credits, yeah?
Well, not if you're going to be taking some of my salvage, my glorious salvage that I've got on hand. You can't have everything for free.
I side eye to not that you could see it because my eyes are covered, but I kind of like tilt my head towards Vic. Is that a fair trade?
I mean, it depends on what I can find there, but yeah, some of these parts are pretty expensive and people
Oh, and
pretty hard to
before
find.
I forget, only an hour. You'll have an hour in this junkyard, and you can kind of laughing him to himself, like no matter what you find, you'll never be able to do anything with it in an hour.
Okay.
It's on. All right. Yeah, I think that's a great deal. Let's
I
do
see
it.
the light in Vic's eyes. Oh yeah, we'll take that deal.
All right, so he's pointed you toward one of the skiffs. There are 3 Mark IIs that are in the area. One of them is half covered in junk. One of them is the one he pointed you to, which is kind of out in the open. The other one, the front end of it is piled underneath another one of these, the land speeders, actually flipped upside down. But the back end is sticking out without issue, and you could easily reach to it. Which one do you want to go after?
I'm gonna quickly. I'm sorry. You got one that's out in the open, one that's covered with what?
The one that's covered, there's one that's covered from like the back end is just in a pile of junk, so only like the forward section is showing. And one of them, the forward section, is underneath a couple of a flipped over land speeder, where the whole back section where the control interface and all that stuff is actually showing. And then there's the one that he pointed you at, which is out in the open, actually separated from everything else. You want to do a couple of quick checks to see?
Yeah, I want to do a real quick check just to see which ones they look like are in the best, where it's got components in the best conditions.
So before you're able to do that, Max says, "Do we have a deal?" Because he already sees like the twinkle in your eye. You're about to run off and start looking at all the new stuff.
I'm gonna put out my hand and say, yes, we do.
All right. He slaps your hand, shakes it. Okay, you got an hour. I'll meet you guys up at the front. And he goes up the front to start collecting, whatever paperwork you guys need to look over for
Is
buying
there
it.
anything in those speeders?
Yeah, I mean we'll have to pull
Okay.
just some extra parts and stuff out of the box, and I guess we'll have to take the droid head off. But other
Yeah,
than that,
that's
yeah.
gonna be a thing.
While
thing that you
do
rolled a despair on, or it was a
that-
bunch of threats that he got like welded into it. So it'll be interesting to see if you can take it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick break while the mechanic-y stuff goes on.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and do a couple of rolls real fast. You're doing quick like scans over them real fast to see what condition they are. So let's see if you notice anything.
Okay. Take away 2 setbacks.
Okay, so I've taken away 1 setback because I only had 1 there for just the time crunch, and the fact that, well, which one are you looking at? You're looking at the one that's out in the open.
You want to do a roll for just each one?
Yeah, we're gonna do a roll for each one. We're gonna do it real quick. So this is the one that's out in the open. So you took away the only setback, which was just the time crunch.
5 success and an advantage.
5 success. God, your mechanic skills are insane. You look over it real quick, and you can tell this thing has been picked apart. A mechanic's already gone through here and pulled almost everything off of it. It is a husk of a skiff that it would have taken you a minute if you were anybody else to realize how empty this thing is. You would have burned most of your time, but you can just like glance. Nope, that thing's been picked through. That's why you pointed me to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's the one that is buried front first. This is a setback because it's buried front first. You said 2 setbacks were removed?
2 setbacks were removed.
Okay, so no setbacks for you because those
1
perks you've got,
success.
those mechanic perks.
4 advantage.
Jeez, I can't roll for crap. That was 2 blanks. So this one, you run over to it and you look over it real quick, and the back end that's sticking out, it's got all of the control interfaces is still installed. You don't know what the front end has because it's just totally buried. You don't have time to unbury it. But yeah, all the control interfaces and 2 of the devices that actually keep it hovering and keep it stable are actually still installed and intact.
Okay.
So this one looks pretty good for salvage.
Can I spend advantage to have somebody start unbolting those parts while I'm looking at the other one?
Sure. Yep. You can yell over it. Who are you gonna have help you?
Come unbolt those 2 things right here, and hands him a hydro spanner.
All right,
I'll be back.
And it's a rush of like, okay, unhook this, turn this clockwise, and he gives you these like really detailed instructions really, really fast because his mechanic skill is through the frickin' roof. All right, so you run over to the last one and take a look.
Yep.
Go ahead and roll.
1 success and 3 advantage.
Oh, okay. This one, it's buried pretty far in there, and with the rush of time that you only know now, you've only got about 50 minutes, maybe 45 minutes to get this done. You just say, no, there's nothing here worthwhile, and you run back over to the other one.
Okay. Well, I'll focus my time on the one where we've identified the good parts.
Now take a boost die because Ranger's helping you out with this, and this is going to be the roll to see how much of the repair parts you actually get.
Okay.
Wait, Vic,
Okay.
did you say turn this one right and this one no? You mean this
No.
way?
3 success, 4 advantage.
3 success and 4 advantage. Okay, so you got rid of all of the threat and you do succeed. So in this flurry of mechanic competence, you're throwing tools to Ranger while you're giving him orders to do stuff, while 2 of your hands on the left-hand side are untaching and detaching stuff and running 2 wrenches at the same time. You manage to get about 20% of the value of the vehicle in repair parts within the time frame.
Wow.
So about 1,000 credits worth of parts.
So yeah, about 1,000
Future
credits.
repairs.
For his side, say about 1,500.
Okay.
1,500 for your time. So mark that down as Bantha 1 repair parts, and then the value underneath it, so you have it. So if this thing ever takes damage, you'll be able to repair that damage without having to go buy the necessary equipment. So as you finish this up, and the time is up, Max is coming out. He's got a big smile on his face until he gets to in visual range of you, and he sees all of these parts detached and in a pile, and his jaw just drops. How did you do? And he looks at his watch, and you've still got like 4 minutes. He's like,
Yeah,
well,
that
shit.
The one you pointed at me at actually turns out to have been pretty well picked over, but we managed to find a couple of parts off this other one.
Right. You looking for a job?
No, we could talk about that. If you got some work, we could pick up. I could definitely pick up a couple extra credits if we're going to be in town for a while. Tell you what, if you give me your contact code, I'll be back in touch if I'm going to be around.
Okay, so you guys exchange contact information. So now you've got him as a contact, Max, and you guys start lugging everything back over. You guys have made the deal, the agreement. Is there anything else that you need to do with this guy? Or are you done?
I'm pretty
Just got
done.
to remove that droid head.
Okay, you got to remove the droid head. Right. So, yep. Please get rid of that droid head before you drop this thing off. That's creepy. And C9 is just like looking to you and looking at him. So, now when you decided to attach this, you rolled for quite a bit of threat, and he kind of got welded into the system for the vehicle. It's going to be relatively difficult to remove him. So, are you ready to make a mechanics roll to get him out of there?
So I'm going
Can
to.
I help again?
How are you going to help him?
There. I'll read the manual to him again.
You're busting out that manual again? So, okay, he is like half upside down in the speeder underneath the dashboard trying to like detach all of the cables because you guys welded a freaking droid head to the front of this thing.
Yep.
Could I
Would this
go ahead and
count
take a boost die.
as a repair?
What's that?
Would this count as a repair?
Why, do you get a boost for having repairs? Part of one of your traits?
Yep.
In this instance, I would say
Repairs to droid vehicles.
yes, because you
or
have to remove the
starships.
droid head, but you also have to repair what you've done to the vehicle to attach the droid to the power supply. So,
Okay.
all right, go ahead and take your bonus for that.
Okay, so -2 setback.
Okay, you only had one for being upside down while doing this, and you're not under a huge time strain. So, how are you helping, Ranger? You wanted to help him too?
I was gonna say, could I help Vic by just simply handing him tools that he calls out, just to help, or kind of keep his mind clear, so he knows he's concentrating on the task that is under the boot. He doesn't think, oh, what one do I need next?
So
It
wait,
keeps
what are
his
you doing?
hands busy.
You're handing him tools,
In a sense.
in a sense.
You
Okay,
know what
okay.
you could probably do? You could probably just distract the droid while I'm working so he doesn't bug me.
Have a conversation with C9.
Distract him.
Hey C9, tell me.
Hmm.
Tell me about life.
Tell you about like my life, sir.
Your life. Tell me C9 about your life.
Okay. He says, "Well, I've had a chance to compute the
okay.
issues that my." So he starts talking about his life. He tells you a little bit about him being actually a butler droid for a freighter out in the colonies of the Rim. The last memories he has when he was traveling to Rhodia to drop off something incredibly valuable, and something happened at that point where his memory is faulty. So that's what he tells you. All right, you ready to do the check? So while this
That's it.
conversation's going on, go ahead and roll. And
3 success, 4 advantage.
oh, okay. So you had 2 fails
Oh.
and two threats. So you do manage to detach the droid. You were rolling against reds too. It was a good thing you didn't get any despairs. You do manage to detach him. His in the middle of the conversation, he's telling you about this trip through Rhodian space, and he just shuts down. That one eye closes off. He loses power, and he is now detached. You manage to put the parts back together, and the speeder is back in working order. Probably a little bit better than it was when you guys found it in the cave.
Yeah.
Hey, good job, Vic. I'm glad you
went pretty
turned
well.
that
Yeah,
bastard
so.
off.
Thanks for distracting him, because he was really kind of
Oh, I
distracted.
liked C9.
You owe me for that.
It's okay. We'll get him a body. Might be able to rig like a battery or something where we could power him, but I'm not going to attach him to that skiff. I learned from the last attempt.
Just gotta roll good. Roll better. All right, so you
class.
guys make your deal with Max.
Be better.
You take your very large amount of valuable supplies. Are you putting those in the skiff themselves? I assume you are, because they're
Oh, yeah.
pretty heavy. This is
Yeah,
far more
cargo
than you can carry.
lockers.
Okay, so you put them in the cargo lockers. Big metal doors slam down. You lock them up. He gives you the control device to be able to activate the vehicle, and when you do so, it comes online, lifts off the ground, and it's pretty good. It's not bad. Like it maneuverability-wise, you just kind of like sit there and spin it in place, and all the control surfaces feel good.
Hey Max, here's the keys for the other vehicles we've traded.
Max, you tell your mechanic he did a good job with this one. It's in really good operating condition.
Will do. And you let me know if you're looking for work. I could definitely use another good mechanic, especially one that just practically robbed me of most of my skiff parts. He kind of says with a smile.
Robbed.
Tell you what, I'll come do some work for you. We'll even up the balance there a little bit.
Appreciate it. And he puts his hand out, and it's this like hoofed hand.
Vic reaches out one of his hands and then clasps it with another one.
It's
Pleasure doing
just, like,
business with you,
so
Max.
many hands. You too. He goes back inside. You guys now have a brand new vehicle, and now we're going to take a break in just a second. So where are you guys going to go next? What is your plan? You've got a
To the
bounty where you know
general
where they're
store.
located. You've got Skaven, if you don't remember, who will be arriving in the next day or two. That you don't know what port she's going to be arriving in, though. What exactly?
Like I say, we need to get a gun for this thing.
Yeah, the bounty now, so we get the money. I gotcha.
I mean, you can go to the general store afterwards. I need to know for the break.
Oh, all right, yeah. So, bounty then general store, I guess, or general store then bounty.
General store, then bounty, I'd probably say.
Let's work on a bounty, and then we can go to the general store once we've got a little bit more cash.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe that too, because we already did just buy the skiff. But at the same time, we do need med packs because we're down to what? I have 1. Tex, you have what? 1, 2.
Vic's got 3 actually.
3. All right, so
Okay.
I guess we'll be fine then. All right, yeah, I guess we go.
Try not,
Let's
try not
bounties.
to duck-
Bounties,
try
then
to
we can
duck
buy
more, stealth
things.
more, suck
Hey.
less.
Hey,
Go stealth yourself more.
yeah, I love how the
Stealth
stealthy
yourself.
character gets hit more than you're the biggest character here, and you get hit nothing.
I got hit once. It wasn't good.
That one time.
That
Yeah,
one
that
time.
one time.
One time.
Hey, he doesn't put himself in the way. But all right, guys, so we're going to take a break now, restroom break, because we're going to be going for like another at least hour and a half. So go ahead and grab some snacks, grab your drinks, and we'll be right back.
All right.
So hey, guys. Hello,
Hello.
stream. I'm going to be talking to the stream for a quick. I'm just going to kind of update them what's going on and kind of where we're at. So if you guys need to go grab drinks, go for it. So what's happened so far? We did a real quick, brief run through of what's happened so far, stream, and it's been going pretty good. So we're on episode 5 technically. This is episode 1 for streaming, but we're on episode 5 or 6. We've been doing this for about 2 months now. And they've just gotten into that's why there's so much shopping going on for this episode. That they've just gotten into town for a real town for the first time. Mos Entha was one of those towns where it wasn't very big to begin with, and then it was half burned down by the end of that episode. So
It wasn't
though
us.
it wasn't you.
We didn't burn it down
You didn't this time. You didn't burn this
this time.
this time. You didn't burn it down, but there wasn't a lot going on there, so that's why there's a lot of shopping going on. They managed to get a couple of swoop bikes, which they just sold, that came from 2 dead swoop gangers that were looting the corpses of some of the miners in that town.
That weren't yet corpses.
Weren't yet corpses, they are now. One of them wasn't dead. That's right, you saved one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The guy that you guys had a knife fight, not knife fight, but a knife throwing contest,
Throwing
right?
contest. Yeah.
At the cantina. I remember that. So, oh damn it! I pulled out my headset for my headphones twice now. Yanked it. I'm moving my hands too much. So, the dice roll trolling was awesome. Oh, that's what you gotta do. So when they're doing a large, because it's not always a combat scenario that they're walking through, when you're doing a lot of dice rolls, having them roll multiple times while having a conversation, that's just almost having a battle, right? They're trying to talk someone into doing something, and that isn't done in just one dice roll. Some people Cantios lied to him a little bit to see hey, look at the brighter side of this, even if it's not really a brighter side. One person may use a little bit of coercion or a little bit of deception or a little bit of whatever they're trying to use. And the more dice rolls that go in their favor using the skills they have, the end negotiation will be easier, and the prices will fluctuate based on that.
Pretty brilliant the way we pulled that off with the skills that we have.
Or the lack of skills.
The
Not one of you.
Complete lack of skills.
Look, did we pull it off? We pulled it off.
Pulled it off. Not only that, but you basically robbed him. That was a really good move on Vic's part. So now you guys are going after a bounty. You're going after the Squill Kings. Let's see if I have that image of a squill still. Don't think I do. On the table. Did I put it somewhere? No, I don't have it anymore. Damn.
Oh,
That was
sad
on the other
times.
table. Yeah, I wanted to show everybody what a squill is. A squill is a creature that was in Star Wars Galaxies that is just this gnarly-looking, long-haired, green monster with huge claws, big teeth. And these guys have been painting this on their jackets and on their bikes, and that's what was on the bike. It was a disgusting-looking thing, so you can imagine. But
That appeals to those kids.
apparently
days.
it appeals to those kids. 'Cause
It does
Rangers
appeal to those
roll.
kids. It does
Kids
appeal to
these
those kids.
days.
That was your role, right? Where you got
That
2
was.
triumphs.
Yeah, triumphed on a coercion.
Ugh, what the hell? All right. And it wasn't even like, because based on how they roleplay and the scenario, so trying to convince somebody that squill face, that horrific, like even if it was drawn well, it still looked terrible. But it wasn't even drawn well. That was a hard roll, and not only did he roll well, he knocked it out of the park. A triumph is like having a critical, like rolling a 20 in D&D, and that was like the best thing you can have. Instant, yeah, so that's what happened there.
Kids love these things.
They love these things. It's all the rage now.
It's crazy, man.
Squills, man.
All these kids.
Apparently. And now all his bikes are going to have squills painted on the side.
Oh, God.
So he may not be there when we get back.
It'll be really confusing to the gang. The swoop bike gang.
That's okay. Hopefully they won't be around long.
Oh, man.
Not for much longer.
They're not going to be around too much longer.
They're going to be dead.
We'll give Squills a good name again.
I'm starting to believe
wait.
you really are that master criminal.
Me?
Didn't say she was a criminal now. Me?
Good point.
Says all innocent.
Who, me? I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, so. Ba-ba-ba-ba-da. Getting some stuff set up. So what's kind of cool about this for everybody watching the stream while we wait for people to get back from breaks is we've got a second account logged in on this PC, which is what you're seeing here. So they can see your hands moving around. What will eventually be like the battle map. But you don't see what the GM has on his screen. That was something that I was working with, is I don't want you guys to see any of like the plot twists or the prep that's been done, because that would ruin some of the story. And I know some people probably can't help themselves but to turn the stream on to see what's going on.
I turned it on just to see your facial expressions.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I
like,
did check on it as well.
I heard the noise you made for the guy, and I'm like, I want to see what his face looked like when he
My
made
throat's
that.
messed up too, so I was like trying to do it, and it's like, no, not happening.
See,
Oh,
once
man.
again, Vic is going to roll ridiculous rolls for mechanics, and
Dude, we had like
fail
3
every,
triumphs so
every
far.
combat roll.
Man.
That's
Yep,
where you got
that's what it's-
Ranger.
That's the way he rolls.
That's how Vic rolls. So before we get back, we start up. Why don't you guys introduce your characters? Because we didn't really go into that. We kind of rolled right into it. So what race are you? What class did you choose? That is like the class that signifies you. Because I know both of you have. I think a few of you have different 2 specializations. And don't if you don't want to reveal anything too much about your character, don't. If you want it to be a surprise.
Well, I'm green.
I'm green.
My species is Mirlan. So I'm a
Half-
green
Half
stealthy boy.
Mirlan, Yeah.
Yeah, half Mirlan, half human.
There we go.
My character consists of recklessly and dangerously endangering his life for the good of the cause. He doesn't really get why these goody-goody two-shoes are even on the planet. They're like, oh, let's go save the Jawas. He's like, why? This is Gull.
Because I
We're
had
here
a
to
good
save the
feeling.
Jawas.
You had good soup.
And where are
I
you from?
did
Yeah.
get good soup. I am from Coruscant. And
From
some
Coruscant.
situations occurred, and now I'm not on Coruscant.
All right. So, and normally a Maryland is a kind of a beefy race, right? But you're half human, so.
Yeah, I'm half human, so I don't have that.
All right. What about you,
And,
Ranger? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, my species normally tattoos themselves with their experiences, but he has no idea about that. So that'll be fun when that comes up.
Yeah, it's true. There you go. So, Ranger, I've got your character up now. This is your image. Tell us about your character a little bit. As much as you want to, or at least as you want to. It's up to you.
Currently, right now, the party knows my character only known as Ranger. That's just a simple name that he's called him. He has a bit of a hidden backstory that he may or may not reveal sooner rather than later. He's a Mandalorian. Grew up on Mandalore, raised by his very tough father, but obviously had to leave during the when the Empire kind of started to take over, and he doesn't like the Empire. Kind of ruined his homeworld a bit, so he does have a little bit of a bad history with the Empire, for more reasons that haven't been revealed yet. Hired gun, mercenary soldier. Ranger's very good at leading a team. He has quite good leadership skills. I'd say he's probably really good in the fight. Pretty good in the fight. Can handle himself with a nice big heavy gun. Ex-bounty hunter. or still bounty hunting in terms of journeyman bounty hunting, but he used to hire for bigger targets back in his day. But,
So how old is Ranger, to give people an idea?
Ranger's coming into his 40s.
Okay, so he's in his 40s. I thought he was a little older than that, actually. So,
No,
okay,
no,
so
he's,
in his
coming
40s.
into his 40s. He's starting to come into his middle ages now. So he's seen a lot in the galaxy. He's been there. He's been there, done that. He has seen a lot. Hence why he's quite good at leadership and leading teams. But he knows a good team is always a worthy shot.
All right, so that's Ranger, the Mandalorian. And what about our Keldor?
Ah, Cree. Well, that's the name she was going under. So she is, about 5'2", slim. She wears this big concealing robe most of the time because, as you have all found out, someone somewhere is looking for her, and she is in hiding. Cree Palm is her assumed identity. She is a scholar, so colonist scholar, and if you saw the beginning of the episode, she is a force-sensitive exile. Just trying to figure out what all of this force nonsense is.
All right, and how did Cree grow up?
Big family, big extended family for the most part. Until one day when her family elder gave her a bag packed, false identity already set up. She was put on a shuttle and sent off to Naboo, actually. She was-
Naboo. That's as far out on the rim that you went until you ended up here.
And then somehow I ended up on a ship in a prison, very confused, and here we are.
And here we are. And lastly, if our Basilisk is back, you back?
Yep, I'm back.
So, just a little bit about who Vic is. I got the picture up on
So
screen.
Vic is a basilisk. He grew up on the basilisk homeworld Oyum, which is in the deep core, which was a fine life until the Empire arrived, and the Hutts quickly followed. While the basilisk, or the Oyum as they call themselves, have actually never really been involved in galactic politics much, they're sort of chafing under the control of the Hutts and the restrictions of the Empire. So while he went to school to become a mechanic, and then went up and started working on one of the stations above the homeworld, he was approached by the Hutts to do some smuggling past Imperial customs, and rather than risk that or the potential repercussions to his family on the homeworld, he decided to take off with a little help from the bartender of the bar that he hung out with on the station. So he has been he escaped to Corellia and then worked odd jobs out towards the rim until one morning he woke up in a ratty Gozanti carrier with these three people.
All right.
I almost didn't wake up.
Your roll was so bad. So,
It was real bad.
when they were waking up, they had been drugged, and one of the things they had to roll a what was that? A resilience check, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was resilience.
Yeah, it was resilience. And the idea was the higher the resilience check would be the order in which they wake up. They work off the poison in their system and they begin to wake up. And all of them rolled relatively okay, except for poor Cree, who rolled
Wasn't it like a
Yeah.
0?
One
Like a
advantage.
point. So yeah, so that would be 0.1 if you converted it into a number versus like 4s and 5s and 3s and 2s. So you didn't wake up until like the ship was attacked.
Everyone was standing around my cell wondering what this little lump of person was doing.
Wondering whether or not to open the door.
Turns out that Vic's actually not very good at combat. He didn't have much experience going into it. And while he would love to be a really good shooter with a blaster, he has mostly missed when he's even tried. But he's really good at whacking stuff with the crowbar.
He's had the
Crowbar
most
has
crits in the
done
game.
Well.
He has, it's true.
It's been pretty
and,
high.
And
definitely.
Kantos last episode gave him a vibro axe that he'd pulled off of a swoop gang.
Pulled out of his chest.
Yeah, the one that embedded himself in his chest in the last
Just
one.
so
Okay.
happened to find its way there.
You're fine. You're fine.
So,
Yeah.
you guys are loaded up. Are you heading out? It is now about around 11 o'clock. It didn't take too long. You know, about an hour there, about a half hour of negotiation. You now have your new vehicle. You've gotten rid of your last ones. You've got a head of a droid and a skiff, a fancy skiff, which we don't actually have a model for, I don't
We
think so.
have the
Droid in a
coordinates for the hideout, yeah?
You do.
Are we gonna go after the swoop ganger? Oh,
Do we
I
want
got
to
Do
you.
you
go?
have something?
We
Look at
do
that.
have something.
I
we
do
wanna
have
go
something.
during
Oh,
the
wow.
day?
Vic goes. So hey, do we? What do we want to do here? Do we want to go after that one guy in town, or do we need to go out to that swoop gangers?
Well, considering we ain't got no information on Mr. Deadlock,
Yeah.
I would say let's go after the Squill King, because we know where he is. We can bring him straight back. Easy money. Money made.
I don't know that there's any easy money in that kind of job, but
Oh,
certainly.
Vic. Worry too much.
Yeah, well, I'm worried about that tank. I'm not gonna lie. Remember that tank that Lewis
But
was
we
telling us
know
about? That mining vehicle that had a gun mounted to it?
Oh, we have some tricks up our sleeve.
We just bought this thing. I'd hate for it to get shot up.
So what you're saying is park it way out back and walk there.
Hey, don't forget about the back entrance. That was
Booby
mines.
trap.
Yeah,
It had a stun grenade trap.
we can always do it with the sneaky approach. Cantios.
Sure.
Yeah, you could go stealth yourself.
Thanks.
Well,
You're
wouldn't hurt
really
to go
good
look.
at it. It's a compliment.
Let's mount up.
So you
Right, who's
mount
driving?
up. You have the coordinates of the Squill King, which is the gang, the Swoop Gang, their home base, which you were told is some type of like way station. It was a type of cantina that they're set up in the middle of just about nowhere, actually, between Entha and actually I'll show you guys on the map. It's right around here, heading out of Entha. There is a
I
pass
thought
that'll
it
take you
was
out
like
there.
to the northeast.
Yeah, I remember it
They
over
said
here.
here.
Right. Okay. I was wrong. You're right. I said over here. So you guys were driving across. He told you it was there. This is true. And then you checked him to make sure it was true. So yeah, it's out there in a small portion of the dune, almost like the Dune Sea. So you guys are heading out now. It's going to take you the better part of the day to get there. So by the time you were to arrive, pending anything that would slow you down, you'll be there as evening sets on.
Will do.
This is a
to our
speed 2
advantage.
vehicle, right?
Yep.
Okay. So this thing is actually going the same speed as your old vehicles. Your
Right, do we
skiff.
want to go now? Because by the time we get there, it'll be dark.
We've got. I can see in the dark.
Yeah, and so I can see you in the dark with my goggles.
And I can pretend I can see in the dark.
Sounds like we're going for a night mission then.
Sounds like it.
Let's move out then.
All right. So you start heading. You all load up. Who's driving? Is this the setup right here?
Yeah, something like it.
Vic's actually used to piloting these kind of things. So unless somebody speaks up, I think he's gonna just assume
Yeah.
that he's gonna be driving it.
Okay. So now keep in mind, this is an armored vehicle, but that relates to the vehicle. This is an open top vehicle. So if you do have incoming rounds, that they can be targeted as long as they've got an angle on you at the individuals on board.
Are there little walls we can duck behind on this vehicle?
You can get a cover bonus, yeah.
Okay.
You can get behind the front in there. On the sides, there's railings, so you might be able to use that for cover. But you've also got the cargo container in the center that you can duck behind, because that comes up to, it's like a bench, like a seat.
Okay.
So, okay.
One more thing before we set out. So Vic's gonna take a look at that weapon mount and try and figure out if he can maybe sort of rig a real quick pintle that sort of gun rest that the ranger could use for his rifle if he wants to use that to steady himself.
That'll be perfect, Vic.
So you want to make a rest so he can put his rifle onto it.
Yeah, we've already got the gun mount, so I figure It's already got a gun mount and swivel. It just doesn't have a gun in it. So
Not something
Well,
that
when
would like
you
we
walk
detached.
over and you take a look at it, it is a gun mount, but it's a gun mount for something much weightier, something that you'd just be heavy to handle and awkward to handle, so you'd want to mount it to something that could rotate to take the weight. Because your rifle, though a large rifle that you've got, Rager, it isn't like this overbearing rifle that weighs a ton. It is a proper rifle. It's weighted to be held. You can, like you can if you were just using something for cover, brace against it to get that aim accuracy bonus. But
Yeah, that'd be fine.
you wouldn't want to mount the gun to anything, and you don't really need anything special to get the bonus from.
Yeah, it'll be fine, Vic. Like, I can just kind of rest it on the top.
hey, sounds good.
I think we're good.
All right.
Great.
So,
It's midday. I'm wearing sunglasses. We've got a pack of water, and we're about 5 hours away from the cantina.
We have
All right,
seats.
so you guys start cruising. I'm going to put you over here for right now. You start cruising. You're in still the rocky portions of Tatooine, but as you get through the pass that leads to where you're not really sure. On the map, it says Jabba's Palace, the one that you had translated. So it's chances are there's probably trade caravans that run through here. You do see tracks. You're cruising. What speed are you going at? You going max?
No, we'll go cruise speed that's appropriate for the terrain since we're still in rocky terrain.
All right, that means that you will arrive around midnight instead.
Well, after we get out of the rocks, we could pick up speed.
That's the majority of the trip, whereas the place that you're heading to is kind of out in the sands,
What
which
is actually
there would be nothing.
What does this actually float at? What altitude?
This one is a little bit higher than your average. I want to say it's like 3 meters. Does it say on the card? I know the other ones did, but this one
No,
may
it
not.
doesn't say.
All right, so assume this one flies at about 3 meters. At max, like you have to set it to max to do that, and you won't get as much speed if you're doing it that way.
Okay, well, sounds good.
Okay, cool. So you guys
So,
are cruising. You're gonna go at half speed then, at 1 instead of 2.
No, let's go to 2 then.
All right, you guys are
I'll-
cruising
I
along at
wanna
max
get there.
speed. You want to get there as the suns are going down. You want to see this thing. Okay, so as you're cruising along, it's rocky canyons most of the way there. As you start to
Can I, while everything is kind of normal,
Mhm.
can I sit down and close my eyes? Not that anybody could see, but I want to kind of focus on what is to come. I want to see if there's anything that I can see.
Now do the jazz hands to make it work
No,
better.
I don't need to do jazz hands.
all right, so
No jazz hands.
you guys are cruising along, and it's that part of a long drive where you all kind of just zone out a bit. It's just following the trail that's been left by other drivers. There's not a lot of conversation going on, and no one can see it because you have those black coverings over your eyes. But you close your eyes and you begin to focus, and you've done this before a couple of times. As you focus, the reality around you kind of slips away. You fall into a quiet, almost serene-like darkness. Go ahead and roll.
I did.
What'd you get?
1 black.
Okay, so you got 1 dark side.
I'm gonna use it.
You're gonna use it. Okay.
Yep.
So, with the bumps going on and this gut-like fear that starts to invade that serenity of the idea that, am I really doing this? Am I gonna go hunt down a bounty? These guys have tried to kill me recently. These gang leaders are violent in a way that I have never seen before, and I've been violent. And that fear and that anxiousness starts to take over. Though you force those feelings to aside. And call forth what will be a potential future. A vision fills your mind, and what you see is flashes of the sand, but the sand moving, bowing and flexing. You hear a horrible scream. You see a Twi'lek, similar to the one that you've seen in the past, one that you killed brutally, but he's slightly different. You see him with an enraged look on his face. You see a room, dark, that smells of alcohol and smoke, and you wake up. And you're back aboard your skiff, cruising along, you open your eyes and you see the rock wall passing by you.
God, you really don't go to this planet for nature views, do you? It's the same thing.
Unless, of course, you're a geologist.
Yeah, I'd
I
leave that
imagine they like rocks.
mumbo jumbo to you and your Rhodian friend.
Sand here, sand there, sand everywhere.
Oh, black
But it
magic.
could be different sand.
Wow.
Made up of
There's a couple of
sedimentary.
layers in that wall. It's kind of hard to make it out when we're moving at about 200 kilometers an hour, but
I can guarantee it's still a wall.
there's some quite pretty blurs.
All right, so as you guys cruise on, looking at all the blurs going by, let's see who. Let's Vic, Ranger, go ahead and make perception checks.
What?
One success, one advantage.
Ranger
Perception. Roger.
and Vic.
2 success.
Okay. So you guys cruising along, don't notice a thing.
God damn it.
How do I not look around? I am observing nature. How am I
You're
not
observing nature.
Sarcastically.
What side are you standing on? Are you just observing off the side, or are you watching where you guys are going? Where are you looking?
I'm watching where I'm going.
You're watching where you're going. Okay. go ahead,
I
do a
always
perception
watch
check.
things. That's my thing.
Cree has her eyes closed at the moment.
Yeah, I understand that much.
What I see has nothing to do with what's around us right now.
Then roll.
Five success and one advantage. I see things.
All right. So as you're cruising along, and the rockiness of the terrain starts to flatten out, and you sense that you're getting closer. The suns have gone down a bit more. It is now kind of like that reddish time where it's still daylight. You probably still got a couple of hours of daylight left, but a little bit of a flash grabs your attention. A little bit of metal off the path to your right as you guys are approaching this more open area where it turns into more dunes than rocks, and this well, it was a flash is actually a reflection of light off of metal.
Well, that's not good.
What do you see, Kentius?
Got almost something metallic reflecting the sun towards our direction in the open field over there.
Could it be swoop bikes?
Swoop bikes or maybe a tank in waiting. Slow it down, Vic.
All right. Slow it down.
Okay, so you slow down. Are you going to pull over? You're going to continue going toward the coordinates that you were given by the swoop member that you sent back to Mos Entha after questioning him, or are you going to press forward?
Hey, Ranger, can you make out anything with the scope on your rifle? See if it's a target, or if we need to avoid it, or we need to check it out.
I'd like to rest my rifle on the side and kind of look through the scope. Maybe I can just see something.
Okay, so you look through.
Does that give me a bonus or anything?
Go ahead and because you're using your scope, and now that you're all looking at it and you're kind
Yeah, I
of
was gonna
inching
say, can I
forward
give a
toward it, you
bonus
can
to-
actually you actually see it now. You see what looks
Okay.
like the wreckage of it's some kind of vehicle. At least it was at some point. Part of it buried in the sand. Not in the way that like the wind had blown over a couple of years and like buried it. More like something had pulled it.
I'm gonna speak up here. I'm gonna say watch the sand.
Watch the sand.
Watch the sand for anything odd. Any odd movements of the sand.
Wait, does anything live under the sand?
I mean,
I can only imagine on a planet mostly covered with sand, things will live under the sand.
Ranger, do a knowledge check.
Oh damn. Which knowledge?
Just a general knowledge check.
General knowledge checks. That's based on my characteristic,
I
correct?
think that's education then.
yeah.
Education? No, it's just stupid 2. Oh,
Oh,
3
that's not bad.
success.
Nice.
Ranger might know something.
Okay, so you think back to when you were staying with the miners and you're helping them prepare for the defenses, and in the off time they would discuss other threats that they've had to deal with and threats that they've heard about on Tatooine. There are a few creatures that live in the sands. Some massive ones that sound like outlandish tales, some smaller worm-like creatures that could be in the sands. There's dune lizards, which you don't know the name of, but you know that there are larger lizards that live in the sands. Giant dragons that have been known to half bury themselves into the sands. So there are definitely threats that you're aware of that could possibly or potentially be in the sands. And from looking at the wreckage of what was, now that you're closer to it and you have an idea through your scope, it looks like it was an old land speeder that has been cut in half and dragged halfway under the sands.
Let's try and find something more. Is there any hard rock on the floor we can traverse over rather than the sand?
Right now, you've been making your way out of the hard rock areas and making your way into more of a duty space. But as you look kind of to your left and a little bit back, you notice that there is a jutting of rock that goes the direction that you want to go, but makes its way deeper into the sand as if it's just like this almost knife of stone. That's probably a couple miles across because you can see it from a distance that juts out into the dune sands that goes the direction that you're looking for.
I'm relaying the information to the guys about what the miners said. There could be something living under the sands. Miners told me different animals, different wildlife that could live underneath the sands. Some big, some small, mainly big. We need to get to some hard rock. I suggest going for that knife of rock over there. At least that's safe for now.
Alright, here's my thought process. If they know about these creatures in the sand, more so than we do, they would know people are going to go that path.
Or is it, do they have a secret path themselves?
Yeah. My
Are
point
there any
being,
markings on the speeder that's in the sand?
we can't see, we're not that close. Even
Yeah,
with
you guys aren't
perception,
that
even with
close
the
to
scope.
it. It is in
Okay.
the sand. It's quite a bit farther.
I mean, we could always just book it.
Watch
I know we're looking
the
for trouble, but I'm
sands.
not sure I'm looking for trouble.
No, we want to steer clear of the monsters that could be underneath the sand, or we want to steer clear of the swoop gangs.
You get the feeling that if you take the other path, it will take considerably longer. It's kind of out of your way first before it starts heading the direction that you're interested in going.
I say charge forward. That's my opinion. I say let's hope this thing's not nocturnal, if it is in there.
It does look like the wreck has been there for a while.
What do we think, Tim? Long route or short route? Risk of being seen by the swoop gangs, or risk of being seen by the monsters?
Well,
The monsters
I mean,
that haunt our thoughts.
it's gonna put us. If it puts us there a little bit later, then that's just later for them to fall asleep. I don't know how good a gang is gonna be at keeping watch.
Good point.
Still.
These gangs know to get drunk, get high, get whatever they want to do. I vote take the long route. The safer
Listen to Little
route.
Sister's warning,
It's up to you, Cree.
only because I'd hate for her to be able to tell us she told us so.
I don't think I'd be able to do that through all the screaming.
Long
Fair
route.
enough.
Vic, turn us the other way. Long route.
Okay.
All right, so you grab back the controls and you pull back, and the vehicle kind of does this half arc as it turns. It's very slow and a comfortable turn. You're all now very used to it. You hold on and you make your way now going following the rock, and you keep rock underneath you, I assume, for the rest of the journey. Okay. So you continue on, kind of going out of your way first, and then slowly it turns to the right and starts going into the dunes, jutting off into the dunes. And as you continue in this direction, who is like really looking for? Now you're getting closer and closer to the
I'm
coordinates
keeping
that you've
watch.
been given. You're keeping watch.
I've already expected them to be watching this path.
Okay, so go ahead and do a perception check. And Vic, you go ahead and do it too. You all got your eyes open, so everybody can do a perception check. Let's see what you
Alright.
Would it be
One
terrible
success,
if I
two
wanted to do a
advantage.
vigilance
1.2.
one?
No, it's fine. Go ahead and do a vigilance. Vigilance or perception. In this instance, it'll work for either.
I imagine
we can
I'm just
do
kind
either,
of sitting there,
or-
Yep. Vigilance or perception in this case.
kind of.
1.2 for ranger.
1.2 for Vic.
Okay.
2.1 for Cantios.
5.
5?
5?
2 seconds.
1.5.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh yeah, with the setback for it. Okay. So as you're making your way, you're now in this lower almost canyon again. And who had the highest roll?
I think that was Ranger this time.
Was it Ranger this time?
1.2 I had.
Oh, no, I had
1.2.
That'd be
2 point.
Cantios.
I had
You-
2.1.
Cantios. Okay, that's what I thought. So Cantios, you notice movement. It's pretty far out. It's about medium range, but you do notice movement. Something is ahead of you. And
Oh. I say we stop the speed. Can I tell him to slow down? Hush, though. Vic. Shh.
All right, slow down.
Oh, we're being crushed.
I squished you. All right. So go ahead. Let me grab the speeder. I don't throw everybody everywhere. You guys have now stopped up here. And what you see is, now imagine this is empty. There's nobody on this.
Right.
What you ended up seeing was a little bit of movement. And it has flopped off my table.
No, it's over here.
No.
Oh, something else.
No.
No,
you lost
that's what
another
I'm
one.
looking for. So I'll have to grab another one. So let me just grab up something real quick. You see what looks like there's a humanoid up there for sure. And because of what you were already thinking, you've got an idea that this is probably not friendly humanoids. You, Ranger, spot as Cantios kind of like gestures for a minute to look over there. You spot another humanoid set up in a prone position on the right-hand side of the inlet. So, go ahead and roll with initiative, but I'm going to give you the boost die for it because you guys spotted them. Come on, now, guys.
Cool or vigilance?
What?
There we
What
go.
happened?
I'm gonna lock it so it doesn't move. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize we even touched it.
It gets a little weird. It gets a little jumpy. Let me move the camera.
Gotcha.
Alright, rolling for vigilance or cool.
I think he's.
Cool, because we're prepared.
Yeah, I'd
Cool
go
with
with cool.
advantage.
Prepared, unless you're higher with one, because I don't like punishing players for having spotted stuff. Like, you should have the advantage here. So if you're better at vigilance than you are,
Oh my God.
use vigilance. It's up to you because you guys spotted them first.
I'm so happy. This is the best roll I've gotten.
So go ahead and roll.
Alright.
I did.
Wow. Okay.
Everyone
What'd
did
you
their
get,
boost die? Everyone did their boost die?
Wait, we get a
from-
boost die?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Boost
what-
die for this one because you guys spotted them first. So I'm giving you
Oh,
an
yeah.
advantage for it. I'm gonna roll for these guys. Just hold on to your numbers for a second, and we'll get our initiative order going.
Hooray!
What'd you get?
Look at this 4.2.
Nice. High
It's
five.
I've never gotten that high.
High
Ever.
five under the table.
Boom.
Can't roll for shit today.
I usually just roll like triumphs for seeing things, and then like 0.2 is for attacking things.
You are aware, on this side of the table, me and Cantios are sharing a pack of Doritos. Just let
Yes.
you know, we're on this side of the table.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Oh, pizza.
Cree's
What
gonna.
rolls? What rolls?
Vic's gonna offer Cree. Hey, I picked up a little more of a lizard. Do you want a little bite? Lizard jerky?
Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'll take that.
We got not
right, what'd you get?
Doritos, but the Star Dorito triangles. Or Star Destroyer triangles.
I think
just
Cantios
go in
is,
order?
Cantios go first?
4.2.
Cantios got a 4.2.
I know! This never happens to
Alright.
Cantios.
PC 4.2.
Da, da, da.
Normally you're terrible at these rolls.
I know.
I
Or
got
at
a
least the
2.4.
fighting ones.
You
See,
got
Even
4.4?
Cree, yeah, Cree did good too.
Okay, Ranger, what'd you get?
A 3.3 for Ranger.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
PC. I got a feeling you're all gonna be before these guys.
You
Who's
ready
next?
for this?
Yep.
Vic's got a 4.2.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Dude.
He was really ready for this.
I love how like we're
Oh
getting
my
these rolls
goodness.
on like the goons,
Right. All right.
not the boss.
So you've spotted what looks like humanoids on a path that leads, and you know this leads toward the gang's hideout. What are you gonna do? You're still sitting on there. You're hovering. You're only about a couple meters off the ground.
So this
about
is they're
5,
at
6
medium
feet.
range.
Farthest out, yeah, they're at. Let's see. They're just in medium range. So if you guys went a little bit closer, you'd be in close range.
Pantios, do you think you can take... I'm gesturing to the hillside on the right-hand
went-
side.
If you went up just a little bit, you'd be short range.
Pantios, do you think you can go for that
That's
one on
me.
the hill? Get a little bit of
Do
a
they
stealthy
look
attack.
like they've spotted us?
They have spotted you.
Oh, they have spotted. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You
guys weren't being stealthy. You're on a skiff going full speed.
Yeah, good point.
Speed 1.
In that case,
So, they got you.
Alright.
All right.
I could do a nice ability for you, two of you, to get a nice benefit at the start of combat. If you'd let me go first, that is.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd like to go for the field commander ability, which I take an average leadership check,
Okay.
a number of allies equal to my presence, which is 2, so I can give 2 allies, and they may perform immediately suffer 1 strain to perform a free maneuver if I pass the leadership check.
If you pass,
That'd
and they
probably be good.
they get a free maneuver if you get it.
Yep, they have to suffer 1 strain for it though.
Average is 2 purples, I believe. Right.
Right. So I'd like to
Alright.
think in for the ranger looks around to the others and go, Cree, Cantios, you move that way, you up that way. I'm
Alright.
rolling.
Okay.
Ah.
Good roll. You got 1 failure and 2 threats.
Ah, that equals it out to nothing.
Oh, okay. So you scream this out, but the rest of your party just isn't really paying attention now that they're all like looking for what the threat is, and they're almost like pushing themselves up to see like over the hill. Not like it's helping, 'cause it's they're standing up on their tippy toes. What's going on? So
I'm
alright, so
purposely ignoring
that
him.
was your action, I
That was
believe.
my action.
I
Yeah,
am
so
purposely ignoring him.
I will take my maneuver to jump out the left side of the speed and come over to these brush on the left hand side.
Yeah, think of the brush as, for the purposes of this map, those are just like small boulders.
Okay, for more
gonna
boulders.
say,
then. So I'd like to move myself
Tattoo.
over to about there. Is that a fair maneuver?
That's a fair maneuver. You can do that. Yep. So
Right.
that'll be 1 maneuver to move over there.
That's me
You
over.
You can use your second maneuver and take some strain, or are you just gonna call it?
No, I'll leave it there.
Okay. So, that's what.
After being
Next.
completely ignored, Ranger huffs
Alright,
and
so
dives
I
out
am
of the
going
speed.
to... yeah. I'm going to use 1 maneuver to move
Where'd he
into
go?
short range.
You
Right
never
here.
leave the ship.
This is short
Alright.
range, right?
Yeah, that'll be short range. So you're gonna go ahead and move over here. So you jump down off the speeder. Easy enough for you. Run over. Drawing your pistol.
I'm going to use my incidental to draw my pistol from my holster.
Oh, you've got quick draw. Draw your pistol.
And I'm going to take aim and fire at this individual right here.
Okay, so you can see him from about like just below his shoulders up, so you can kind of see his face. He is laying down and he's got his rifle ready. You're gonna take a shot at him. So
with
you now
aim.
are in short range. So that's gonna put a and he is prone, so you're gonna get a setback on this because it's harder to hit him.
Okay.
You said you're aiming.
Yep.
So 1 maneuver to move, 1 maneuver to aim means that you're taking 2 strain.
Yes.
All right, and take your shot.
Didn't hit.
You
Didn't
was your
hit
roll
at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 advantage.
That sounds
That
like
is
one
a
of my
lot
rolls.
of advantage. So you fire
Yeah.
out a couple of rounds with your pistol, and those rounds fly right over his head. He's a small target. He's hard to hit. He's laying down. He was ready for you. So the rounds, but you do manage to get him to oh shit and duck down. He's going to go ahead and take some strain for that. Is there any other way you'd like to use all of that advantage? Because you had 2 threats, so you had
Wow.
6 advantage to spend, and I just went ahead and
Nice.
used 1 for you for the
Can I
strain
get?
on him.
I can actually get him without hitting him. Can I get him to drop his blaster since I'm using 3 advantage to negate?
You've got to
I
hit
have
him.
to actually hit him. All right.
Yeah, if you want to do
So-
something like that, you've got to hit him, but you can
I can
set it.
see. I'm gonna set him back. I'm gonna spook him with the blast. It's gonna go right over his head,
Okay.
and then I'm going to, by shooting, showing the area, I'm going to give the next PC a blue dice to their next roll.
All right, now that will be a roll against him, right? Because you're shooting
Yep.
at him. You pointed him out, so one of your other, the next person who goes who shoots at him, maybe didn't notice him, but now you just lit him up with blaster bolts, and he's ducked down, so he's going to have a harder time aiming because he doesn't want to get his head taken off by the blaster bolts that you're currently firing at him out in the open as you're running across the field. So that's Cantios' turn. Who's next?
Want to go, Vic?
Quick question for you.
Go for it.
Can Vic run over somebody?
With the speeder?
Yes.
Can
Yes,
this
he
be
can.
vehicle manslaughter? Oh my
I mean, you can
God.
try. Why not? It's a speeder. You're
You
only a few
can
meters off the
try.
ground.
What
Now
would that
keep in
count
mind,
as?
you're a couple meters off the ground, so if he's laying prone, it might be difficult.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
but
You
getting
tell me
run
what you want to
over
do.
by a repulsor field's not going to be good either, though.
Might be a little distracting, that's for sure. What you just tell me what you want to do.
So Vic's gonna pull it, yank it to the right, and he's gonna
Almost hit
charge up this
Cantios.
draw with the skiff.
All right, so you're gonna yank it to the right, slow down just enough for these two to jump out as soon as they pointed at the targets. Rangers yelling something, you were barely paying attention, and then you just kicked on the gas and started driving up this ramp, which you barely fit down, by the way, but it's okay. It's a repulsor skiff, it's fine. You scrape a little paint on the side, no big deal. Go ahead and do a... Actually, we'll find out if it is. Go ahead and do a pilot check to see if you can squeeze it up there.
Okay, so my pilot check.
Atmospheric pilot. It's going to be a
planetary pilot.
fairly easy
so-
check, so it'll only be one purple. Yep, planetary pilot.
And I'm gripping onto the railing, looking at Vic like he's crazy.
And I'm wondering, we went around the dune to avoid destroying
Two
the
success,
speeder.
one advantage.
2 success and 1 advantage. So you managed to roll it around that corner without any issue, and you actually have the advantage as extra. So if there's something that you wanted to do with it as you're cruising up toward him, because it is a vehicle, it can travel quite a bit farther. Its close range maneuver will easily run this guy, go over top of him. And that is still just one maneuver. So what would you like to do?
So running him over, is that going to do damage or distract him or?
Well,
I
if you
don't-
just if you just run him over with the repulsor, it's going to be really awkward and irritating. But it's not going to do damage to him per se. It's going to just feel like this. I'll count him as he can't move because it's like pushing him down, but it won't do any damage, and he'll still be able to
Okay.
use his blaster.
So here's what Vic's going to do.
Disadvantage.
Vic's going to slam on the brake, and he's going to have pointed the front of the skiff where it's providing, it's between the armored edge is between Cree and the guy, that she's able to lean over the top of it and shoot at him from close range. So he's
Short
going to give
range?
her a boost as well as providing cover.
Oh, okay, so wait, you're driving up here. You're going to slam the brakes on, so she has a shot.
I'm holding onto the railing.
You're holding onto the railing. You're still going to have to do a coordination check because he's slamming the brakes on. All of a sudden, you went from, we're slowing down, everybody's jumping out, and you're not sure why, and then, oh, crap, as the vehicle churns, runs up a hill, and right toward you now see an armed gentleman prone, laying down, trying to get a shot on Cantios, and suddenly, the brakes kick on.
All right, I'm going to brace myself and remove one setback from this coordination check.
All right, so-
coordination. This is gonna be bad. It's gonna be real
Okay.
bad.
Go ahead and roll. Let's say that's how you ended your maneuver, because you were just maneuvering to get into this position. You weren't actually doing anything against him.
1 success to 3 advantage.
1 success and 3 advantage. Okay, so with the brake, and you try to grab onto the railing, but you kind of just miss it, you lose all of your balance, and you fall off, but you manage to do that 3-point landing where you land and instinctively grab your pistol and whip it out. And now you
Alright.
are standing, you're right up next to him, on the ground. He's prone. You're in engaged range.
Okay, I'm not gonna grab my pistol.
Okay, you're not going to grab your
That's
pistol.
Not gonna grab the pistol. I'm going to pull out my staff
Of justice.
of mystery.
Mysterious staff that you picked up in a cave, okay?
I am going to Aim?
Well, before you do that, that was a maneuver for Vic. Vic, do you have
okay.
Yeah.
have an action or another maneuver you'd like to make?
Now, Vic's got another maneuver because as a basilisk and extremely overpowered, he gets 2 maneuvers without strain.
Okay. So you're going to
He's
use your
going
secondary
to-
maneuver.
He's going to incidental. No. No. He is going to pull out his goo gun, and he's going to take a fire off a shot at that guy.
Okay, you're going to try to make a shot with the goo gun. Now, you are driving a vehicle at the moment, so that's going to at least give you a setback, and you're trying to shoot from the angle that you're standing at. He is prone, so that's going to be another setback for the prone, and the difficulty of the shot is going to be getting it through the bars on the left, the cover on the right, and down there. So,
Okay, maybe
because
not.
you're so big, you have the angle, but it's going to be a very hard shot to pull off because, you're going up a hill, too, so it's even harder
And
to see
Vic's
him.
not very good at shooting.
I see. Okay, so you're not going to do that.
Okay, so instead, what Vic's going to do is he's going to lift, as an incidental, he's going to lift both of his upper arms in the air and shake them while yelling, "Yarr!"
Okay.
And he's going to jump off the front of the skiff, take 2 steps and jump and try and dive down onto the guy and grapple him.
Oh, you're gonna try to grapple him. Okay, so you're gonna dive down and you're just gonna grab him. So that's gonna be you're just gonna hold him in place.
No,
Or are you gonna try to
brawl him.
He's gonna brawl him. Okay, so you just knock the speeder into like a holding system so it doesn't roll back down the hill. You scream out with 2 of your hands up, run off the side and jump at him, and go ahead and roll for brawl damage. So you're jumping off here. Readjust the scale on that. There we go.
He's got a 2 success, 2 advantage.
Okay, and he's gonna get take another boost die. I think take another boost die for the fact that he's prone for the hit.
Another success, so 3 success, 3 advantage.
3 success and 3 advantage. Okay, so you neutralize the threat, and you do. How much damage do you do?
Let's see, his base brawl. I've actually never hit somebody without something else, so it's just his brawn,
You've
right?
never punched anyone
It'll
before.
be just as broad unless you've got points into the skill.
Let's see, what does it say for his unarmed?
I like chat was like, just drive over him and turn the vehicle off.
That's good, dude.
So his
Squish.
damage would be 3 with that, and the qualities are disorient 1 and
All right, so he's okay. So he's gonna take well, you
you
can't
crit.
activate the disorient because you didn't. You had too many threats, so it evened out. But you did manage to hit him. You hit him for 3 damage. Tell us, how did the scene play out?
So Vic comes charging up this draw with the engine revving, and then screeches to a halt. Cree tumbles out of the side, tries to aim, but rolls over the side like skinning a cat, and manages to land it on all 3s. In which case, Vic sees this and he just raises his arms and gives forth what he thinks is a really intimidating yell, and launches himself onto the guy and lands on top of him, not really getting a square hit, but just the weight of a basilisk falling from about a meter up knocks the wind out of the guy and does 3 points of damage.
So you come down and you kind of hear a as you just land with all of this weight on him. And though you didn't think it would do that much damage, it did a considerable. He's looking really, really rough now. With him sitting on the ground, he's a bit disoriented by everything that's just happened, looking up at you guys like, oh god. Cree is now standing right in front of him, about a foot away, looking down at him with his staff out. So he's looking pretty rough.
Should I take a disorient as well? Because I'm still wondering what the hell just happened.
Cree, it's your turn.
Okay, got the staff in my hands. I'm going to flip the destiny point. Upgrade my
God.
roll. I'm gonna whack him with the staff after aiming. I can aim with a melee weapon, yeah?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, yes, you can. So
Twice.
you can aim if you're gonna use both you gonna take some strain for it?
Yeah.
Okay, go
Oh,
for it.
God.
So with him, he's hurting now, pretty badly, a little shocked, and it gives you that moment to take that moment to be like, where exactly am I gonna hit him? Go ahead and make the roll. Take a boost die because he's prone.
Oh, I only have 2.
You only have 2 boost die? I'll give you another one. I mean, you could just roll it again, but there's another boost die for you. Go ahead and roll for that.
1, 2, 3 success and 3 advantage. So that
right.
gives me. Hold on. I don't know how to calculate this damage. It's a +2 damage.
Plus 2 damage, plus your brawn.
Can I get one clarification real quick?
My brawn is 1.
And your brawn is 1, so 1 extra damage. And then the successes that you got.
So is it brawn plus 2 damage for the staff and then the 3 success? Is
Yep.
that how that works?
That's how that works.
Oh, say 1, 2, 3.
But you had 2 failures, so
So only 1
Yeah, but those
success
don't cancel out, do
counts.
they?
they count
so
for damage,
1,
yes.
Okay.
As long as you
3,
succeed. She only gets
and
whatever success she had left over.
4. So that was a 4 damage.
So with that, you standing up in front of him, staff in hand, and just with a quick whack, the bottom of your staff right in the temple, and he just collapses.
Yeah.
He's down.
That's the way it's done.
He got poor bastard.
I'm still like mouth open, going, what is going
Almost got
on?
run over.
Like,
He
yeah,
almost
my-
runs you
One of
over with
them.
the vehicle as he travels up there. All right, so that leaves the NPC's turn. So for the first one, you see one of them standing here wave, but not at you guys. He's waving at somebody behind that you don't see. And with that, you hear, and you can tell it's the sound of one of the swoop bikes that you've heard now multiple times. It sounds like it may be starting up. This guy's going to go ahead and, looking at his weapon, I don't think he has range because you guys are too far away. So he's going to make a move. He's going to use his maneuver to move over here for 1. And he's going to take a shot at Ranger because he's the only person currently in short range. And where
I
his
would
weapon
like to
can
use the
shoot.
sidestep skill. Once per round, I use sidestep maneuver and suffer a number of strain to upgrade the difficulty of incoming ranged attacks.
All right. You guys all got all kinds of tricks now that
Oh,
you've gotten
yeah.
some experience behind you. So, his is going to be 2 plus his ability upgrade. So, there's the roll. We've upgraded it 1, so instead of 2 dice, he's rolling for 3, and let's see how he does.
Oh, and I've got 1 ranged defense as well. Sorry for the last one.
Range defense gives him a setback, right?
Cool.
If I remember correctly? Yeah. I think
Yes,
gives
it
him a
does. Yep.
setback.
Yep.
You've only got 1 range defense.
I do have
So-
1 ranged defense. Yep.
He's run down now. He's going to... no, he's not going to take aim. He's just going to fire. Not going to use the extra strength since he already maneuvered. So, 2 failures, 3. So, with his... With his blaster pistol, he pulls it out and fires off a few rounds, hitting you for 6 damage before you soak. So the rounds blast out towards your cover. 2 of them, ping, ping, bounce off the rock, but the third one catches you right the inner side of the shoulder, and it gets absorbed a bit by the armor, but you definitely felt it. Oh, God, I get shot so much on this planet.
Everyone does.
God damn it!
Damn.
I take 1
Hey,
damage.
what is it
for
with
that.
this world and shoulders?
shitty
I mean,
roll.
come on.
It was a really shitty roll on his part. So that's going to be his turn. Next NPC is going to be a... Alright, he's going to do with his skill. So this guy here, with his carbine, is going to take aim at you. He's going to take aim at Cree, because that's who he sees. Still holding the staff now, looking at the person that she just knocked out. And he's going to take a shot.
So defensive 2 just adds Melee defense, yeah?
No, that particular weapon gives you just straight defense for melee or range.
Okay, so I've got
Ooh.
+2 to defense.
Ow.
Okay, so that'll give him 2 setbacks on the
Take
roll.
that.
First one didn't do him any good. Neither did the second one. He rolled blanks. Actually, it did do him good because setbacks. And still. All right, he takes 5. He brings the carbine up to his shoulder, and 3 rounds blast out, and they miss, harmlessly impacting the rock just below you. And now you're very aware of his presence. And with that, he's going to go ahead and run and take cover right here behind some of the rock. He's going to he's going to go prone so he can get a better shot. So he drops down to the ground and starts aiming your guys' direction. And now for the NPC that you guys can't actually see.
What range
Oh,
are these
great.
at, by the way?
These guys are medium
medium
range from their
range?
position
Yeah.
right now.
Incidental.
So-
Hey, Vic, I think we need to get back in the speeder.
Sure, it'd be around, I'd say 13 on this. On this map. So,
Incidental. What the hell are you guys doing?
and you're
Oh,
going to hear, and you're going to actually see for just a second a swoop bike coming down the hillside and trying to make a run for it. And now it's back up to your guys' turn.
Is that at what range is that swoop bike to me?
That's
That's
related
long.
to you.
That's
Maybe
long.
extreme.
That would be, so as we said, 13 was short.
Mhm.
So that would be about, well, medium is, I think it's twice as long as short range.
Mhm.
So he would be fairly in medium range.
Whoa.
And he is blasted it right now. He's used one maneuver to move, but you got the feeling that he's starting to accelerate as he goes down this hill.
I could take a shot. Unless anyone else wants to take a shot.
You might warn the others.
Exactly.
I say we focus down the one running.
Vic, you got a good shot on him as an incidental.
Over comms.
Of grams.
Oh, yeah, we could try.
If not, I can take a nice aimed shot at him.
I say we shoot before he gets too out of range, because as we're talking...
I'm gonna take an aim. I'm gonna rest up.
You're the only one
I'm
that has
gonna-
that range anyways.
Yep,
I
I'm
have
gonna
medium
do an
range.
aimed shot at the guy getting away. I'm gonna do it at him.
All right, so you're taking 2 aim?
I'm gonna take in 2 aim, yes.
All right, so you're taking your time, breathing, taking aim, take 2 boost die, take the strain for taking the extra maneuver to do so. This is going to be a medium shot, meaning it's going to be
Which my rifle does handle medium.
good. So you can actually attempt the shot. That's what that means. It doesn't make it that
Yeah.
you're more accurate. It just means that you're actually able to try.
All right,
Whereas
then.
these pistols don't. That's going to be a 2 purple roll. He is on a vehicle and he's moving pretty quick, so it's going to be 1 step back because now it's a moving target. Small target, far away. You ready?
Oh yeah. Ranger gets down, takes aim, takes a nice deep breath, and attempts the shot.
What'd you get?
2 success, 2 advantage.
2 success and 2 advantage. Okay, he got 4 threat.
Oh,
Oh my god.
So with that, 1 single round blasts out from your rifle. Well aimed. You've taken your time. You've steadied your breathing like you've known to do. And as the blast rips out, that wasn't 1 single blast. There we go. 1 blast.
There you go.
The round flies out and hits this guy right in the neck. Blood. You see this red mist from the scope as he slumps over the controls, and suddenly the bike goes wildly out of control, flipping up, and with the extra threat he has, he lands straight down on the front of the swoop bike as he goosed the throttle way too fast, and you see a light explosion as the bike goes up in flames.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
As with all his
that
limbs.
looks like that hurt.
Only for
He's
a
down,
moment.
guys. Focus on the rest.
So nice
Oh, yeah.
shot.
Oh, yeah.
That was a-
There's still 2 alive.
Alright. So with that... let's see, you said 13 was short range.
13 on this map will be short range.
Alright, my gun hits medium range, so I'm going to take double the aim at this lovely individual right here.
Okay.
Going to calm. I'm going to take two strain to do this instead of movement. Alright.
So, now keep in mind, short range fire is 1 purple. Medium range is 2 purples, and then taking the boost die, that's up to you, whichever way you want to do it. So,
Alright.
All right, so you're taking a shot at medium range
Mhm.
at this guy who's now, he's just moved up and taken cover. He hasn't gone prone. So it's going to be a setback on the shot for you. Go ahead and make your roll.
3 success, 2 advantage. I love how my boost die never give me anything.
Three success.
Yeah.
Okay, which weapon are you using?
I'm using my heavy blaster, CR2 heavy blaster.
Nice, it's got a medium range. That's pretty great. So, with this heavy blaster, you 3 rounds, 2 of which harmlessly bounce off the rock next to him and the rock below him. He kind of steps back from the rock as the round hits, and the third one manages to hit him straight in the chest. He looks down and you can see the blood kind of like forming up and over the cloth that he wears underneath his jacket. His hat kind of like falls off his head. He's sitting there going, ah! But he readies for another shot. Looking pretty rough. How much damage did you do?
Well, how many do I need to hit? What was his failure rate? Did he have any
Yeah,
failures?
2 failures.
Alright, so I succeeded with 1, 8 damage then.
8 damage. All right, so
Six-
he
seven
holds
plus
it,
the
and he
success.
braces himself on the rock. Weapon still out and on the rock, ready to fire, but he looks really rough. The blood loss is starting to get to him. How many advantages do you have?
I had 2.
Okay, how would you like to use those 2?
I'm going to use the 2 to give him a setback dice on his next move because he just got shot in the chest, and I'm just imagining he's pretty freaked out by the fact that there's a hole in his chest.
All right, so he's got a setback shot for the next one. He's like trying to hold on, keep the blood flow from pouring out of his chest wound now as he's trying to get ready for another shot. Who's next? The
So,
PC's turn.
the guy that Cree just knocked out, did he? What kind of weapon did he have?
He had a light blaster.
Okay.
Nothing that would reach medium.
Nothing that would reach
Actually,
him.
it would.
No, this is just a short-range normal
Sure,
blaster.
Yeah, mine's a heavy heavy
He's got a
blaster.
heavy blaster. That's why Cantios
Well.
can shoot at that range. This is a short-ranged, more traditional blaster.
Mine is special.
My light blaster actually has a range of medium.
Yours has the range of medium. Okay, well then you could take the shot for sure.
The one that you gave me.
Hmm.
The holdout blaster does not, but the one
Hold
that
that
I
blaster.
picked
Well,
up.
this one does not. His does not.
Okay. All right. So Vic's gonna. Well, is he already prone? From where he belly flopped?
You want
on
to
the guy?
consider that prone?
Oh, he was the guy that you crushed?
No,
Who's
No,
dead?
Is Vic
prone.
Is Vic prone?
Oh, is Vic prone? Yeah, he would be prone for this. You'd still have to get up. Because you
Okay,
just
but-
dropped on him.
He's already prone, so he's gonna pull out his light blaster and he's going to take a moment to aim,
Okay.
and then he's going to fire at the. Which one do you want me to shoot at, Ranger?
Go for the one opposite you, Vic.
All right, so he's gonna shoot at that guy, the ugly one. Gotcha. And,
Okay, which one's the ugly one? They both look pretty
So-
ugly to me.
does he get an advantage for being prone on that?
Yeah, he gets advantage from cover. You get a boost, but he's going to get you're going to get a setback for him being in cover. So take a boost die. I'm going to be rolling a
Okay.
setback for him.
I just imagine
Great.
Vic is holding 2 of his hands on the blaster to fire.
Oh, what?
What did you get? You got 3 threat to overcome.
Three success and
Yeah.
2 advantage.
3 success and 2 advantage. Okay, so with that, you crawl up next to the now dead gentleman that Cree finished off that you crushed. Just a couple
using
of
him
feet.
for cover.
You're using part of him for cover. So 2 of your hands have like pulled his body up just around you, and you're like propped up half against him now, aiming over.
Ew.
It's a thing, and you fire off a couple of rounds, all of which find their target and decimate this poor fella. Rounds bouncing off of his shoulder, one goes into his neck, and the other one takes off part of his skull, and he is now no more. This is the one you were shooting at, right?
Yep.
Okay, and he is no more.
Oh, I hit one.
Nice shot, Vic.
You're a maniac.
You're an excellent shot in my book.
Doesn't mean
See
he's not a
cheering
maniac.
Over the dead body as he's saying this.
You holding up the dead body to cheer because that's gross.
No, just one hand over the dead guy. Because that's a thing.
He's actually picked up the guy like a sock puppet, and he's like going,
Oh,
hey,
God.
making him make thumbs up sounds.
God.
Think
Cree is
Oh.
slowly inching away from this display.
And
You're
he
real
takes
bad.
a conflict point. No, he's just sitting there kind of dazed and like, oh, that worked.
That was a thing. So you're pretty impressed with yourself. Like, I can't believe I just managed to hit that.
Do I have any advantage left?
No. That was all he rolled was threat.
Okay.
So it
Okay.
completely annihilated any advantage. So, Cree, what are you gonna do?
What's my... Yeah, I can't hit.
You can move
where
and then
I'm at.
hit.
And...
I mean, right now you got your stick out, so remember that.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty badass, though. So here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'd like to do.
All right.
Is I would like to go down this hill here.
Okay.
I
You
would
can try
like to
that.
kind of like slide down this hill in a badass kind of style.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here
All
we go.
right. Go ahead and do we'll call this, because you're not going up the hill, you're going down it. We'll do this coordination check to see that you don't fall on your face and roll down the hill.
Taking 5
Yeah.
points of damage.
Yeah, that's
You
a
knew this was
risk.
coming. Come on now.
I know.
This is
I
a
know.
good, like,
Badass
8-point
hill that
award.
you're...
This is Can I use my staff as kind of like a rudder to like drag it
Sure.
along?
Why
I'm
not?
going
Great.
to use a force point to give her
Yep.
an upgrade on
It's
that.
up to her. Only if it's on her turn, she has to choose whether or not to
Oh.
use a force point.
Oh,
No
my-
faith,
my bad.
man. No faith. So
I know, right?
you can suggest it, but you can't
So
just
I'm
do
gonna
it for them.
Use that thing that you're using.
I am. It's called a staff.
No, the
And
other
I'm gonna.
thing.
I love,
I'm gonna
I love
roll.
how-
Use your
I don't
jazz
think-
hands.
Yeah, use for
jazz
jazz.
hands.
I don't want to put my hands on the ground.
You guys don't know about the hands, all right?
know
The
about
only
the
person who
jazz
knows is Cantina.
Antios does.
So you jump down, you jump down, feeling really badass, and
yeah, I'm
begin
gonna
to
use my
slide
staff
down
to like
this
try
hill.
to like behind me to try to keep myself upright.
with one hand holding the staff in place, the other trying to keep your balance, almost like this surfing motion, with one foot forward, one back. The staff dragging behind you on the hillside. Go ahead and make your roll. 1 threat and 1 failure is what you rolled.
Two
Oh,
success,
yes.
1 advantage.
2 successes.
Ooh,
All
yeah.
right, so you rock this thing. You kind of go down the hillside. In your head, it looks way cooler than it actually does, but you
Probably
managed
looks
to
pretty awkward.
kind of hit the bottom and kind of run off. So now you're in a full run. Because you slid that, I would say, instead of like having to actually run, I would
Yeah.
say for your
One
short,
maneuver will put me.
probably right up in here.
Okay.
Let's see, that would be 13. You came from up here. So actually, you can get much closer than that. So you get about right here if you wanted to just sprint toward him. He's now above you, though. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. That was one maneuver, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, so quick draw. I'm gonna stash my staff. That's an
All right.
incidental. My other maneuver, so I took 2 strain, is to pull out the Seeker, my holdout blaster.
I love how you gave it a name.
I didn't.
Vic gave it a name when he
Actually,
made it.
Yeah.
Vic gave
Name.
it that.
Oh yeah, Vic gave
Yeah.
it a name. Mine.
So
Mine's
you
just-
draw you're using your quick draw talent. So you
Yep.
staff is back really fast. Like you're getting really quick with this. Pistol out, hold out blaster in hand. You can feel that custom grip that Vic made you settling right into your hand. All you got to do is point now.
Okay, so I'm going to. What does the accurate one do for me? Adds 1
So
boost
what-
die?
What that does is it's good. Not only does it give you 1 boost, but it actually takes away 1 setback on a combat check.
Okay, so it'll take away 1 setback.
And then you
And
get a
it will
boost.
give me 1 boost. Range light.
Okay, so the shot that you would have had a setback on was that you're shooting upwards, and so he's got partial cover right now when you're shooting.
Right.
So he's got cover between you and he's got cover from Ranger using that rock, but you've got your custom grip that allows you to get that quick accuracy. So go ahead and put the setback away. So now it's just a short range blast.
Okay. 2 success, 3 advantage.
Oh, and with that, well, this is it. How do you want to do
And
it?
then my, let's see, damage. 5
He's
damage.
dead.
So
He has
plus
1 health point.
Oh,
Just
Seven.
describe it.
Oh! No. After this badass slide down the hillside, dust billowing behind her, her cloak has, her hood has kind of fallen back, her cloak is billowing. She puts the staff away real quick, pulls out her blaster, which is super cool and modified, takes aim up at this guy up top, fires, and nails him right in the chest.
Oh, so that blast that goes toward his chest hits the same wound that he had already sustained from Ranger, burning even farther into his chest. Now, through whatever little bit of protection that his cloth and or armor that he's wearing was giving him, and
Cantios.
you can actually see the bolt pop out the back.
Cantios hit it.
Cantios, sorry, Cantios did
Don't
that
give
hit.
no credit to Ranger.
No,
He did nothing this fight.
You go stealth yourself.
He did nothing.
So he starts sliding slowly down the rock, now holding himself up with it, and collapses. Dead. All right.
Way to
the end of
go. Nice job, little sister.
Good job,
Nice.
You know what I would like to do
And everyone
now?
else.
I would like to do discipline. To recover some of the strain.
Oh yeah.
I guess I will as well.
So what, that's discipline
each have
or
three.
what's the other one? The other one to recover strain? I don't remember. Discipline or cool?
It's
Sorry.
discipline or cool, and then however you roll will give you a certain amount of strain back. And I have the cheat sheet here.
Oh.
Wow. Hang on a second. Hold on. I want to move the camera.
Oh.
So people understand what happens when you do heal checks.
I want to show off that I actually did roll what I thought would be good, because I have a yellow, and then the game said no. The yellow dice means nothing for you.
I did get 2 success, so less 2 strain for me.
Oh, hooray.
2 blanks. So
And I
Believe it or
needed
not.
I needed a success. Advantage doesn't do anything for
I
me.
did
it had to be a
succeed.
success. So as you try to like calm yourself after the battle, it's the adrenaline's just pumping
I'm just
too hard. You can
jazzed,
hear
man.
boom, 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 your heart
Throw up them hands.
in your ears. But you're feeling great. You just, in your mind, I guess, single-handedly won this battle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In the background, by the way, down where that bike went, there is a fire now smoldering from what used to be the speeder bike that tried to run away.
Cowards.
Alright, so I actually rolled 1 success, so I'm going to take away 1 strain.
I rolled a 2 success, so I removed 2.
And time to go liberate some goods from these bodies.
And why do you guys have 1 damage apiece already?
Me?
Well,
I got
Cantios,
kicked in the
I kicked
knee. I got kicked in the knee
That
by a
was me.
certain
That's right.
individual.
I was
Oh, and
shot
Ranger
by.
got shot.
I was shot by the gentleman.
Oh.
Yeah, at least he got shot by an enemy.
Shot.
Vic's gonna check this guy real quick.
Okay. Which one are you looting?
The one that he landed
the
on.
one that has his head stove in.
Oh, the one that you landed on. Okay, so on him, he had a blaster pistol. It is. Let me grab it for you. Oh, well, that would be why then. Yeah, he actually ended up having a small holdout pistol on him. So here's the holdout pistol that he had. He's also got 23 credits on him, and some nice boots.
Nice
Just
boots.
boots, though.
It's not a bad pistol.
I'm gonna search the guy that Cree just double shotted up on the hillside.
And I will
I
shoot
walk
the
up
one
to the
over here.
The fire. I
Oh,
wander
the
over
fire!
to the
fire? Okay,
Just
so
gotta
you
go to the
walk over
fire.
to the fire, and it is pieces of charred and torn metal. There's a bit of gore from what was probably the rider. It's rough shape, and when you sit
Nothing
through,
that was kind of like thrown off to the side.
nothing that you'd want to reach a hand into, because it's
fair enough.
probably on fire right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Ranger are gonna loot the 2 bodies up
You
here.
guys
You
wrecked
that
them.
one, and I'm looting this guy.
Really,
I know, right?
2 bodies full
really
of.
fast. But anywho, so
Guys,
which one?
Each in their individual spots. These are the ones we're looting. We
Mhm.
looted the one that got
Alright,
double
so
shot down the hill,
Cantios, you find the carbine the man was holding.
and ooh,
Ooh,
Hey,
I'm
If
gonna
you're not
slide
gonna
this
use
over
that-
my back.
hey, if you're not gonna use that Vic would like something that's a little bit longer ranged.
Vic can have his crowbar and axe. I can have bolt-out blaster. Get your nubby hands out of here.
And then here's what you find. You find his light blaster pistol.
Hey,
just a light
hey,
blaster.
Vic, you get back here with that.
Alright, I'll sling this in me bag for now. They'll back it out.
See those
Oh,
grubby
and
little,
so Ranger, you find Ranger, he had 1 grenade on him.
Oh, another
Just
grenade.
a normal fragmentation grenade.
That's 4 I have now.
He also had 14 credits on him, and the credits on the man with the carbine was nothing. He didn't have anything on him.
Fantastic! I've robbed the poor man.
Of a
Poor man with a
carbine.
really nice weapon.
I love how the picture is literally like a guy cleaning the rifle. I imagine like
Hey,
that's
This is
the
mine.
guy.
This is really like it, but
Hey,
this one is mine.
Hey, Cantios. Hey, Cantios.
Yes.
So, I'll make you a deal here.
I found nothing on the body. You can prove nothing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
walking
saw
away.
you shoot a carbine there. You're not gonna try and get a conflict point just by lying when you're stupid, right?
You're not
Well,
going to
he
try and take a
might.
carbine away from a man with a carbine, are you?
I got a deal for you. There's a holdout blaster here, and a really nice pair of boots. Have you seen my feet? I ain't gonna be wearing a pair of boots.
That means you need boots.
Nope.
Are they stealthy boots?
Yeah, you can have this. I'm gonna. You can have that.
Who's looking at the boots?
You can have that.
I will. I'm gonna
You
look
take
at
a
the
look?
boots.
Take,
I will give
so
him
go ahead and do a perception check on the
this.
boots. Yeah.
It's. I don't know why it's stuck. I don't know how it's stuck, but it's stuck.
you
I
do?
do better now.
I don't know how that. Why is
Okay,
there a
hold on.
box?
Oh yeah, that Tuscan's rifle.
And since you know nothing about what you're looking at, I'm going to give you a
Okay.
setback for this. Do you have anything to remove setback on perception checks?
No, I've got something that adds.
You can do perception or you can do sneak. It's up to you.
Perception. 1 success, 3 advantage.
Oh, wow. Okay, not a bad roll. He got 2 threats. Or the boots got 2 threats, I guess you could say.
Threatening boots.
those
Boots of
boots.
intimidation.
You take a look at the boots, and you notice that these boots are extra padded on the bottom. There's something weird about how they've been custom made, and the heel and the toe are actually made out of a softer material than you'd expect for such a harsh climate. It's actually picked up a lot of the dust and sand. You're not sure why they're different, but they definitely feel like they're made out of a more expensive material.
They fit me.
Do they fit you? Yeah.
Can I
they
put
fit
them
you.
on?
For the instance of whoever's going to wear them, they
Yeah.
fit.
He
I'll put
had
'em on.
really small feet.
Yeah,
I
very
can shove
tiny,
some like
tiny
material in the toe. It'll be fine.
So
These are
I'm gonna
space
go
age boots. They just like to the size that you need.
very threatening space age boots.
Wait, did you just go
Alright.
full Space Jam?
Maybe. You gotta hit the little pump thing on the lip first, though. And then they.
Oh god, it's like the
Nobody
magic
but
water.
the 90s kids are gonna get this.
All right, so I'm gonna go over the comlink and go. We should probably get a move on because these guys definitely, if they don't report back in, someone's gonna be questioning something, and they might see the fire. You
What did
know,
the guy on the swoop bike have?
had
Did he-
nothing. It's on
anything
fire.
survive?
It's
No,
on fire.
It's.
I mean,
it's
maybe
pieces,
can I
and
look
those
at it
pieces are on
with
fire.
perception?
Because of
I
all
just
the
looked at
because of all it's not even look at because of all the threat that was generated when that shot was fired, the back kick to that was that he hit him in a way that it destroyed the bike and any loot that was possible to gain off of him.
Gotcha.
So
At least he didn't get away.
Very good point. He did not get away. All right,
Hey.
I say we hop back on. Or actually, you want to go on by foot?
How close
you
are we
guys
to
have
the...
a ways to go still.
Never mind then. To the speeder.
Let's jump back on the speeder. Vic, can you
Oh,
put
you
it down?
wanted to ride in the speeder, did you? Oh, I'm not sure there's enough room for that carbine and people on the speeder.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Get a move on. Get a move on, Vic.
Alright, while we load back up,
Okay, that's fair
I'm
enough.
gonna
We'll
be right
always,
back.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
well-
you want me to work on something eventually
I
here.
gave you the axe that was embedded in my chest. I don't want to hear it.
Can Ranger just drone himself out from Vic and Cantios arguing about the carbine?
Arguing about carbine loot.
You
Never
Ranger
seen
reach
it.
back
Did
and you
you
flick this
see
little
that shot
switch
that
on
I
your
just
belt,
made?
and some of your favorite tunes start playing in your helmet.
By the way, little sister, that was a hell of a shot.
Do.
Ranger,
She's...
likewise.
Oh yeah.
He's
Vic,
not
that guy.
even paying attention. He's just like,
He's just jamming out.
Oh, have you two stopped arguing now?
I don't know.
I think so.
But why
There's
did
nothing- never anything to argue about. Let's
did
get
no
going.
one listen to me at the start of that fight? No one.
I did. I just ignored
Oh.
it.
Did you say something? Because
Don't worry
I
about it.
couldn't
Just-
hear you over the sound of the motor racing.
Okay, forget it.
Did
You all
you see
load
that
back.
move though? Did you see how I charged that thing up the hill and then screeched to assault and then jumped on him?
Poor
We
guy.
all saw it.
Yeah.
Let's keep going, Vic.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just saying. Best pilot ever.
Like I imagine Vic's telling himself that while looking happily out on the horizon. Best pilot ever.
All
I
right,
feel
so you guys
like
all
I may
load
have
back
found
up
a calling in life.
Yep,
and start heading on out of here.
indeed.
I think we should get out
Everybody
of here.
do a perception check for me. We're about to wrap this up because it's almost 5 o'clock. Everybody do a perception check for me, and Vic, do a piloting check for me.
1.1 for
Do you
Ranger.
both a perception and a piloting, or
Yeah.
perception check first is 4 advantage.
It can be a vigilance check if you guys would rather.
Oh,
For success.
2 success and 4 advantage.
Cree got 4 success.
Yeah, man.
How did Cree get
Is it
4
just
success?
success? I mean, it sounds like that's
It's
what you
just
got.
success.
Okay,
Oh,
every
my
dice was
God.
maxed out. Gotcha.
1.1.
your skill isn't that high, so that must have been a good roll.
I
And
took
Vic got
uncanny,
4 advantage.
uncanny something or other, and it made my perception better.
You took 4 advantage. Is that it for piloting?
Yeah, that was a perception.
Okay, so.
So basically,
sorry,
he's so
top
busy
one.
being pleased with himself, he's not going to notice anything.
And piloting check?
And for piloting, 4 advantage.
Wow, so that equates to a 0.4
Yes.
for piloting. All right. So
Hooray!
as you guys continue on following this path, getting closer and closer to the coordinates that the bandit that the sweep gang leader gave you, the suns are now going down. This fight slowed you down a bit more, and you will be arriving in the dead of night at what may potentially be the headquarters for the Squilkings. And this is where we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Awesome.
So, all right, guys, that was the first live stream of our campaign, like episode 5 of the actual campaign, the first one here on the channel. You guys have fun?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
just like
Always.
normal.
Like every week.
God damn it,
Open up
Tex.
with
Just-
the shopping episode.
Just drives at him. Like, we went around the Dune Sea to avoid damaging it, and you just threw it at them.
Oh man,
And threw me off of it.
threw you off of it.
I tried
I like
to
you're like,
stay on.
I'm holding on. I was like, yeah, okay. Let's do the roll though and find out because he just said I slam on the brakes. That's
Yeah.
gotta roll
Well,
for
hey.
it.
That's okay. I didn't fall on my face.
I love how much you wanted this carbine. I heard carbine, and I'm like, I'm gonna loot that guy. I'm gonna go over there.
I got some fancy shoes.
You did get some fancy shoes. I thought there was gonna be, like, money in the shoes.
An extremely lucky shot on the guy about to get away.
No, yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
take a shot at him too.
Yeah.
Cause like when he's like, "Oh, it's medium range," I'm like, "But my blaster has medium. I'm gonna shoot him if he doesn't kill him with this."
That's what I was hoping anyway. At least someone else would have
Yeah.
taken a shot, but
I was ready,
Got
but
it.
you took him out.
Had nothing at medium range.
I
And
thought
you don't-
you all could only
Smack
shoot it
people in the
short, except
face.
for that one guy. I thought you, Ranger, were the
No.
only one that had it. Is it long range that you've got, Ranger, or is it just
no, it's medium. It is just dead medium, yeah.
Oh, because you're using the cut down hunting rifle, not the full one.
Yep.
Not
I
Now,
can shoot at the long, but it's a lot harder a shot. But
now I can finally shoot at long range.
I hope you guys had fun, everybody in the stream. I enjoyed it. I've been loving and GMing this. This has been great for you guys, and your guys' characters are just so much fun.
Shameless plug. Like the stream for more.
Yep, like the stream if you want to see more. Let us know in the comments. Also, and here's something that I've been meaning to do. So now that you guys are watching it and I have input from the community, if you have certain combat scenarios that you might like to see shoved into an episode,
Oh my
no.
god.
let me know what you want to do to these poor characters, and I will take it into consideration, and we'll see.
You're
And remember,
totally
only
not
you can prevent
strat-balling
speeder
that.
fires.
So
We start them.
Yeah, we start
do.
them. You
We
have
can
to
start
you,
the
you
fight.
guys are the bane of swoop bikes.
Yes, we are.
You've
I
now
love how
killed
this is the first
4 of
time
them? 5
we
of them?
actually
Four.
didn't destroy the best equipment we could have gotten.
True.
Boy,
the
that
first
last
time.
guy had a grenade he was gonna drop in my lap.
No,
I'm
but I'm
glad
not.
he blew
I'm
up.
not talking about the grenade guy. I'm talking about when I didn't accidentally shoot, but I shot the pylon that fell on the guy with the nice blaster, and we never
Oh,
got
that was
it.
good though.
Oh yeah.
Wee way.
Off they go. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel for more sci-fi, gaming, RPG apparently, goodness, and we will see you in the next one. We're going to try to do these on Mondays, though next week may be a little bit different. I may have to move the day, or it may only be just a couple of characters. Somebody may have to run Vic. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't think you're going to be around, Tex, for next week. So-
Not on Monday.
Yeah.
So,
We
so
can-
we maybe we'll find an alternate day, but if
Yeah,
not,
exactly.
If not, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But alright guys, we'll see you in the next one. Later, everybody.
Bye.
Later.
bye now.
Peace, kids.